Meat's back on the menu, boys!
Hey, welcome to, I get to do this show. This is awesome. We're doing Rule Zero right now because I got enough guys here from the Rule Zero crew that we can actually call this a Rule Zero show. We finally got the Las Vegas show together. In 2020, we were trying to do a Rule Zero meetup, a live kind of thing, and it was in 2020. And we started like selling tickets. We're like, okay, we're going to be out there. We're going to go out there in October. Or no, it was actually going to be before that. I think it was going to be like Memorial Day weekend. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
And that ruined all of our plans. And so we were planning to do a live meetup, kind of, I don't say a convention, but like sort of just a meetup kind of thing, you know, one day type thing. Never really materialized. We did it online as a result, you know, of the restrictions and everything else. But I think this is the most members of Rule Zero we have had in like the same room in a long time. Yeah. So, anyways, of course, I got Mike Sartain with me today.
Hey, it's not 8 o'clock in the fucking morning.
I know. I wake him up.
I don't know how you guys do this.
I know.
At 8 o'clock. Are we supposed to be going out and partying on Friday night? What are we doing? How are we up at 8 o'clock in the morning?
I know. I'll give you the history of that.
Yeah.
I got Glenn Lawrence with me here today too. Let's just say junior member of Zero, right?
I'm like an affiliate, you know, like
affiliate member. I got Red Pill Thor, who's actually a part of the extended family, of course.
Skull, you savages.
Yes, and then I have Mr. Cappy himself.
Hello.
Aaron fucking Clary is with us
My
today.
timing was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I didn't know who was showing up.
And now, like, I'm waiting for like the little signs that say gay. And I'm waiting.
All right, hang on.
I'm waiting for the stabs.
Whose
here.
idea was that?
That was not my idea. Oh, you mean the thumbnail?
The thumbnail.
Oh, that was me. That was all me. Sorry,
dude. I'm framing it. That was. I sent it to my dad. I was like, man, look, a little tear almost welted up. Yeah.
And the Perkins sign in the back.
And the Perkins was a brilliant touch. Just.
Did you really make that?
I'm responsible for all of them.
That's
I'm a one-man
fantastic.
show, man. It takes me a long ass time. You want to know I was late to come in?
Fantastic.
All right, and then of course we have John from Modern Life Dating. Got it. Yeah. So this is the last leg of your tour. Your world tour
in USA, then Toronto next week.
The champ is here.
Yes, going to Canada, and then.
Oh, you are really?
Yeah, then going back to Tokyo. Yes.
What are you going to do in Canada? Whereabouts?
Linking up with my buddy Justin Mark and Paul from Apex Mindset. We're gonna have a little meetup out there. So we're gonna do like a day game, kind of seminar, and then we're gonna do a night game session at his nightclub in Toronto. He's really doing it big up there, Justin Mark.
Excellent, man. This is so weird to have everybody like here at the same table and stuff like, and not be in Miami.
It's like an event.
Yeah, it kind of is. Well, I wanted to start. I think we're kind of like the OGs of all of this right here. As you know, I was on Dr. Phil not too long ago. I was also quoted in Fox News, not for the same show. And of course, Dr. Phil decided to cash it in, so I got a nice present to commemorate the event of Dr. Phil's absence from the mainstream right now. Where did this come from? Yeah, I got this from Thor. Yeah, cheers,
my friend. Drink from the blood of your enemies.
What is best in life? We'll take some calls today. This is casual stream, so but we got everybody together in one place. And by the way, We also have Big Mo from Fresh and Fit, and we have Icy, who's their girl who gets the girls. Yeah. She's going to be on with us probably either Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure what the schedule is for them, but they're coming in on Sunday, so we're going to. They've never been to Vegas, so we're going to entertain them.
Are you going to do a show in here?
I would like to. Yeah.
Because I do my Monday live streams. I'd love to have Big Mo.
We can do that.
Why don't
as well.
Why don't you have them here?
Travis, I think we're scheduled for Tuesday for that show, or is it Monday that we're going to do?
For your show?
Yeah, with Big Mo and Icy, the one that
I believe it's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay,
What
so
time?
we can do Monday.
No, you're scheduled Monday.
I'm
at
Monday.
5 p.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect. Why don't I just do my call and then you guys jump in and we'll just do Q&As, but live Q&As like you can see them call in right there. We'll do that.
That'd be awesome. Awesome. So that's something to look forward to. So I wanted to get into a few things here because I think all of us have been in this sphere for quite some time. Like, Aaron, how long have you been doing what you've been doing?
2004 is when I did my first blog post.
Really?
Yeah.
On Captain Capitalism?
You didn't even have pubes yet.
I was graduating high school in 2004.
Oh, you
actually.
graduated. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yeah, watching Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, so 2004 was when I first got into this racket. Yeah.
Excellent. And how long have you been sort of part of the sphere?
Well, John,
How old are you to begin with? Because you are the granddaddy of them all here.
Oh, thank you. I'm 60 years old, and I got brought into this space by MLD. Believe it or not, we chatted on. Well, it's not really fair to say. I read your book in December of 2013 or January of 2014. And I enjoyed the hell of it. And I said, man, somebody finally put all this stuff together. I set it on the shelf for a while. And then I picked you up with Rich Cooper. And I met him on Facebook. And he talked me or conned me into one of his, maybe the second body language mastery with Myron Gaines. And we started doing the webinars together and been there ever since. What was it, 2019, 2018?
I think, late 2019.
Yeah, that was the best one you ever did, by the way. Just saying.
That was good.
Just saying.
But
I audited the first one. I didn't get involved until the second one.
Yeah, I seen you on there. That was good. Yeah, you come into the webinars at one time. Yeah, that was really good.
Still working it. Glenn, what's your history with all of this? You're
So-
like sort of the junior member of all
Yeah,
this.
so I found your work when I was going through a divorce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in 2017, 2018. And it just hit me, just clicked. But I come from a Christian background. So I have a degree in religion from Liberty University in theology.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I used to I was a youth pastor for a church. I was doing mission trips, all that stuff. So when I found your work and how much it contrasted from what the teaching was in the modern day church, it made me go back to the biblical teaching and realizing the modern day church is so far off away from its biblical standing that it's not even shouldn't be considered Christian anymore. So that's what really made me like. It
And
just all
you've
clicked.
done shows with not with Ruslan.
No, he won't even talk to me. He won't talk to me.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not cool enough. You're not on point. You're not on brand.
I messaged
You're
him.
lost in the sauce.
Yeah. I'm a heathen. I'm a heathen to him. You know?
Yeah.
I messaged him and I was like, dude, you want to talk about this? And he's like, no. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. But you did go against who?
I went off.
What was the guy that you
okay,
debated?
so I destroyed Playing with Fire on your 9 Iron Rules on his own show. And then I destroyed Kevin Ray Wilder.
Okay. Well, it's not too hard to do.
Yeah. And then now Ricky is my next target.
Oh, Ricky Red
Red
Pill.
Pill.
Yeah. See, all the ankle biters like, here, you can have this.
Oh, no, that's okay.
He does a good job. He
To
really
me, it's
does.
like target practice. It's just like.
And Mike, how long have you been? Because you were part of RSD at one point, weren't you?
No, so here's what happened. So I used to manage a fucking strip club back in 2000. I managed it for 4 years, joined the military, and that was my red pill moment. What you wrote were words and Latin phrases that made sense of shit that I'd been watching since I was managing a strip club in Austin. You guys ever watch The Pickup Artist? You remember the first season when they go into that strip club and the guy have to pick up? That's my strip club. That was Expose on Congress Avenue in Austin, Texas. I joined the military in 2004. And I started doing speeches at these like different layer talks. And I wasn't like really that into pickup. They just liked the fact that I was always with hot girls everywhere I went. That was 2008 when I first started doing that. And then I started working with Mystery and Matador and Neil Strauss. This is 2009, 2010. I did 4 boot camps for them as an approach coach. And then when I moved to LA in 2012, I'd go out every week and I saw Owen Cook and I'd watch the Blueprint Decoded. And this is what I always do. I was like, all right, I'm not going to go up to him and be a fanboy. I'm just going to pick up a chick in front of him. So that's what I did. I picked up like super hot girl in front of him. And I did that in front of Matador and a bunch of other people. And I started hanging out with them every weekend because LA sucks. And so like I was just like, oh, I might as well hang out with these fucking weird dudes. Not the RSD guys, but like some of the students. And I would go out with them every weekend. Then I would bring them to Vegas. And then to around 2012 in Vegas, I started working for an event company. 2014, I started hosting bikini competitions. 2015, I started hosting the Maxim Party. 2016, I started hosting Babes in Toyland. And then from there, it was just like, I've just
One after the other.
Yeah, just
Then
one
it
after
becomes your
another.
living.
So it's like it's two parallel things. There's this manosphere, and then there's me, like, you know, hosting Bulgarian's party. Those are just two different things that just happen to be happening at the same time.
Excellent. So I would say, for sake of argument, we tend to be like, we have seen this scene for quite some time. 2004.
Yeah.
I've known you since 2015, since before all the bullshit that went down with Anthony Johnson, before all that stuff. I want people to understand that I've known this dude at what, 2015, 2016, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
He got me into crypto, by the way, too.
No, it's so because you know I live in Japan, so it's so weird because I'm like I really just believe in what I have to say. So when I live stream, it's really good, just like a session for myself. When I come over here now and I see all these people who are like actually like what I do, it's really weird because in Japan I'm just like a nobody, but I come here and like people know who I am. I'm like MLD, you know. I don't know. It's not what I said.
You like doing it? You like coming out here and doing these shows?
I don't like being famous or clout. I don't like it at all. Actually, I like being in the shadows. You know, that's how I've just been my whole life. But yeah, it's
I've
interesting.
seen you develop from guy who was in Japan. What were you teaching, English or something like that? Over there? And then you wanted to, like, okay, I'm going to be a pickup coach. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And he just was going and going and going. And then all that shit went down in 2019. And I will say this guy right here had my back.
You
And
better
so
believe
did
it.
and Rich Cooper and Ryan Stone,
Yep.
Troy
Francis,
Francis,
Donovan.
myself, Donovan. Donovan was there. And by the way, we'll talk about Donovan in a second. But they have my back. These are the guys that have my back. Like of the dozens of people who were like my friends at the time, at least your enemies will put the knife in your in your chest instead of your back. So, but he was there, and all the guys. I think people don't really understand that. That's the history of rules. I can't even believe I have to explain this because it's been that long.
There's
now.
so many
Red
new
Man
people
Group
coming in
was-
too, though. So
I
many
know.
young guys. They like.
Well, I was about to say that's going to be my.
sorry.
No, go ahead. Go.
No, that's all.
Finish
That's
that
all I was
thought.
going to say. Is
No,
like,
it's-
there's
New
I'm
people like
surprised.
you junior member.
Right. No,
Just so we're clear, Aaron is like let's see, Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino of Rule Zero.
Yeah, no, I was just pointing out because I get clients a lot, and then I have been recognized occasionally in public. I'll occasionally do a meetup, and the age kind of stays the same, you know. And it's all of a sudden like we're 24, but I mean, for however many years, you know, almost 2 decades, it's been the same age, like men in their 20s. And you're like, there are always new young men and young ladies, you know, leaving the home and all that. So. Yeah, there's all, and so you can't just assume. Oh, what haven't you read Unplugged Alpha? Haven't you read The Rational Male? They may not even be aware.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think I'm fairly confident. I know your background. I'm fairly confident we came into this from somewhere else. It's not like we just said, "Hey, I don't know what to do with myself. Maybe I'll become an influencer. Maybe I'll get into money, muscles, and game." Right? One of those aspects, one of those trifectas. There's the guys who are the fitness guys. There's the guys who are the game guys. There's the guys who are the money guys, the entrepreneur guys. And at some point, people like who are sort of from the Gen X, right? They'll come in from like our day jobs. I went from having a day job to being in the gig economy to being in this fucked up hustle economy, and now we're in the cloud economy apparently too. So, so watching it sort of unfold, I remember reading what was it?
Captain Capitalism?
No, it wasn't Captain. It was Bachelor Economics was one of them. But then there was also the first one I read was Useless. I think is
Worthless.
Worthless. Yeah,
It's a story about John.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Now I know it sounds familiar.
I see.
Yeah, good night.
There it is. Thank you.
I see how this works now.
Yes.
I understand. I'm new to Rule Zero. I understand how this works now. I didn't understand before.
You know what's funny is like the newbie thing. It's like if we start fucking around with people, like they'll be like, God, was he serious? Like I'll get DMs like, was he serious when he said that? Are you guys having a war? Is it a beef? Like, do you not know how dudes like fucking like
It's like,
talk to
well,
each
because they
other?
don't understand how guys relate to each
Yeah.
other. Like me and Thor talk shit to each other all the time.
It's constant.
Like I call my old man, like, come on, old man, hurry up.
Like the day I met him, we started giving each other bullshit. These two, gosh.
I have to be careful with my clients because of
say,
this
yeah.
thing. A lot of my clients who are either of not to be just specific, but just two countries in general who are of German descent or of Indian descent, they tend to have this very, very narrow viewpoint of like how the world feels about them. They do not give themselves permission, and when we start making fun of each other, they're looking around. They're not offended. They're like, "Oh, do I get to make fun of you back?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. I'm 45 years old, and I rescue cats. Go, bro. Have at it. I don't give a fuck. It's fine.
Free licks.
Free licks." And we go out. We turn the recording off, and then everybody starts telling horrible fucking jokes, which we can't do in the YouTube live streams. But they're just horrible, horrible dead baby jokes for like an hour, and then afterwards, all the girls are on the stream are like, "Okay, I'm off. This is not going to work." But yeah, you have to teach. A lot of guys don't know that initially, and it takes them a while. That's how with my clients. They're not used to it.
Yeah, they don't know how to socialize. Exactly.
And the same with
go
dark
ahead.
humor. Dark humor is really a lost art too. You know?
Oh my god,
And you guys,
it's so
military
great.
guys. You
Yeah, the
know,
military guys.
doesn't
I've
work.
never met humans that are more like more about death and destruction and like dying in horrible ways than U.S. military members.
And the industry I come in is very similar to that. I worked as a power lineman for many, many years, and we would fly in the helicopters, maintain the grid, work on 500,000 volt lines. Very, very much dark humor, just like that. Yeah.
All right, speaking of dark humor. Unlike other podcasts, we actually read the super chats during the show on this show. So, and
I messaged,
and I will read them all.
I messaged, what's his name, Sauce, later, or Adam,
Christ.
and I was like, "Dude, did you take a bath? Did you delouse afterwards? Are you good, bro?"
Oh, man,
I just
we'll
want
get
to let
into
you know
it.
that I prayed for you afterward. I want to let you know that I talked to me and
Do you need an exorcist?
Me and Ruslan prayed for you afterwards.
You might need an exorcism after that yesterday's
Yeah,
show.
we'll get to
Hey,
that.
and another thing, let's not say his name on the show.
Oh, fat
at all.
kid in Brazil. That's all you
For any
gotta say.
reason, let's just not
yeah.
say his name, okay?
All right. Anyways, Devon's a single mom. Did you guys know that Devon is a single mother? Did you know that?
Hey,
Did everybody not know this already
all of this-
for the last 4 years?
All this gossip is so gay. I just don't do it.
I love it.
don't
I
do
love
all.
it. You hypocrites call out Pearl for grifting, but run cover for Sharp. Run cover.
who's running cover?
Who's
Where? When? How?
And what difference does it
Specifics.
make?
I need
We
specifics,
sit at a
ma'am.
big table like this behind the scenes, like, all right, let's talk about red pill politics.
Yeah,
let's just,
exactly.
Like deflect.
We're this big of fucking losers.
He's a
you know?
proven liar and a hypocrite. Yeah. Why don't you just copy and paste everything Anthony Johnson has said for the last 3.5, 4 years now? Thanks. This is not new.
Well, here's the question: Is
Next.
he living in his frame? Is he living? Is Devin?
I honestly don't
his
care.
frame?
Is he that big? Like,
If he's happy with it,
Yeah.
if he's happy with his life, then
I like
move
Devin.
on.
Gives a shit. This is
That's what I'm saying.
No
Like,
one
I have a
irrelevant.
legit. Who's Devon?
Devin is his
Devin.
wife, girlfriend's significant other.
Who's?
Wait, is she for real? Oh,
Donovan Sharp.
Donovan Sharp.
Oh, Devin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Devin.
Devin.
There you go.
I thought you said Devon. I'm like, who the hell is Devon? Okay, so this is all gossip and crap. Like,
Yeah.
do we,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
here's my question. Like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, this is
Yeah, exactly.
This is, but that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Here's what it is. Let me explain it very clearly for everyone who's got me and Rollo hate each other, me and the Great One, and all this other stuff that me and whatever this guy's name is at each other's throats. I'm not.
We're still on YouTube.
I'm not doing the TMZ stuff. Like this was accident. This is all 100% authentic. I'm not the red pill is not in my name. I mean, this is just we kind of fell into it, did it as a hobby, out of sincerity or passion or whatever. But the hell, if I'm going to get caught up with, oh, did you hear someone said this? Did someone? No, I really didn't. I really did not. I couldn't care less.
Yeah. A lot of people dwell on that. They want to say, "Oh, you're a hypocrite because you run cover for this guy or you do this." I'm like, how? Like, be fucking specific. If you're going to make accusations, they got to be fucking specific.
I think what also the difficulty is, and you talk about this, is when you make a prescription. Now all of a sudden, anything you do, gets held against you.
Yep.
And so that's one of the things. Like that book is as far as I go. Evolutionary psychology. Red pill is a derivative of evolutionary psychology. Don't care anymore. You want to go out and you want to fuck porn stars? Do it. I don't care. It's not my business. And so that's the thing. Was when we start prescribing things, then now we're held to that standard. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
let me. In fact, that was actually a topic I wanted to get into. So when we go out and we do our separate channels, we all have our own niches, more or less. Or people would say we're in the same niche, but we all certainly have our different takes on that niche. Certainly, Aaron has his take, right? And I've seen Aaron develop, I've seen John develop, I've seen all of us develop in some way, shape, or form over the course of, God knows what, 10, 20 years now. Do you think, first of all, you got into this, like, do you think people have trouble taking things too literally and then just apply, like thinking that you're giving them sort of advice? And that's my number one gripe these days is like, well, Rollo gives advice about, I'm like, no, motherfucker, I don't give advice. If you think I'm giving you advice, you came into this with the wrong headspace in the first place. Telling people, like, this is just data. This is actionable information. This is the red pill. It doesn't care whether you're right or wrong, good, black, white, religious or not, whatever. It is what it is. What you do and with it from that point is up to you. Now, the problem is when you get into things like, since you're in the sort of like the Christo manosphere, you get into people who are like Hafiz, who wants to make a living out of this, or Ruslan, who wants to be all brand. You get these guys who want to sort of swirl the red pill into whatever their pet ideology happens to be.
Yeah.
Now, my question for you guys is as, I guess, influencers, do you consider yourself an influencer? Do you consider yourself, do you give advice?
Well, those are two different things. As an influencer, all of you are influencers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat right now. There's 560 people here. You're no doubt you guys are influencers. Compared to the average person on the planet, Dunbar's number 150 people they meet, that you guys are in the tens of thousands. So you're all influencers. But the thing that I was going to point out is the Jamie Lynn video that you just sent me. Shout out to Jamie Lynn. She's an FHN model. She's a marriage therapist, and she comes on the show sometimes. She had a complaint about what we were talking about, and Ruslan did too. The thing that they had was that you made a definition about hypergamy, and then other guys come into comments and start calling girls 304s and all this other shit, and then it's like, now that's attributed to you,
right?
When you didn't say that, right? So that's one of the issues that I think happens. Is so now you're an influencer, now you are held to the level of your followers, just like what they tried to do to you on Dr. Phil. They put you across from that autistic kid, and then they were like, "Oh, do you understand?" They tried to make it like you were his fucking dad. Did you see what they were doing? And then so now him being messed up and being made fun of, you are now to blame for that, and he has nothing to do with you. That's essentially what happens. So as an influencer, once you start giving these prescriptions, now you are nailed to the cross for every single thing that you say and the things that your followers say. This is one of the reasons why there's federal law that states that you're not held liable for the comments that people make in your videos or on your news articles, and that's the reason why. So Jamie Lynn made this mistake. She got a bunch of negative comments because of the video that you posted. You remember the one that went viral? Yeah. And so she's attributing that to you and your followers. And the same thing has happened with Ruslan. Ruslan made an incorrect statement when we did that debate on Monday, where he was saying that you were stating hypergamy was X, and X means women are whores, and you did not say that.
No,
you did not say that.
You love how we get to that point. I
See, that's the problem. They read into it. They imply that you're saying something that you're not even saying.
They get so dramatic is the real thing.
Yeah.
They get super dramatic.
Yeah. I was gonna say is like you ever play the telephone game when you're kids and you whisper something to somebody and it has to go around the table and stuff, and then by the time it gets back, it's like completely different. We're at the end of the chain of the fucking red pill telephone game at this point right now. Rollo says this, hypergamy, and then it comes back and says, "You said hypergamy means no women can ever love a guy," and like it's completely like ass backwards at that point.
Well, yeah, your work is completely disruptive to people's convictions that are out there right now. It really is. So is Dr. David Buss's work. It's disruptive to how they perceive the world, and they're very convicted in that. And so it's kind of like a punch to the gut when they hear it. And of course, if anybody says anything derogatory, they immediately associate, just like Mike said. And I don't take it too seriously because for right now, but I do understand it.
Well, hey, the Hudsman, thank you for that $50 super chat. He says, "My dudes love singing all together." Thank you for that. I don't have my sound drops yet.
If you say something factual also that doesn't fit with their narrative, that's even more offensive.
It is.
That's even more offensive to someone. Like if I were to say, "Hey, it's fine if you want to transition to become a woman, but you still have a Y chromosome," that's not offensive. What I said was not offensive. But if I were to say that, I have a buddy of mine, he's a professor at an Ivy League school, and I was like, "What if you actually went out there and said that?" He's like, "Oh, I would lose my job." If I went out there and said that if you transition, you maintain your Y chromosome, I would lose my job unequivocally, without a doubt. I would be protested and yelled off of this campus. So that's one of the issues is that when it's not just when you say something derogatory or mean, it's when you say the truth. And and then the truth that comes from a book where they did studies with thousands of people, and then the studies are very clear about beauty being objective, right? Different society, 37 different cultures, finding the same things beautiful. That means beauty's objective. Canceled. That's the problem, is when you tell them the truth, and then all of a sudden
John,
that's
what
Yeah,
would
what,
you
what do
say-
they say?
what
The
would-
truth is a crime.
It's,
and an
it's
empire of
radical.
lies.
Yeah. John, what would you say is the most controversial thing you've ever done? Like that people have like really run you up the flagpole for? Because you've been in this for a while. What do you think is the number one thing?
I don't know. All this like controversial stuff. These people are just so gay on both sides. Like the left, these people on the left or the right, they're such like little edgelords. They're trying to be like so edgy and like cancel each other and stuff. I don't know. The most controversial thing that I've ever done, I don't know, like maybe.
You are a walking controversy.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I am. I mean, maybe a commercial I made.
The army vest.
Oh yeah,
Commercial or two. That's about it.
But your sizzle reels. For,
no, I'm just doing my thing. I just want to be left alone. But like the red pill community has kind of like adopted me. You know, and I don't know.
Do you consider yourself red pill
I just
or part of the manosphere? Man?
I'm me pilled. I'm the hot
Me
dude life. I'm money muscles game frame. That's me. I'm just a guy broadcasting my self improvement journey.
Aaron, what do you consider? Do you consider yourself in the manosphere? Do you certainly
Yeah,
not red pill? I don't know what I don't.
That's other people
Title
assign-
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I am, and I'm red pill, and I give advice, and I.
Do you get? Do we have to be in the manosphere? Is
No,
that-
but it's not. I think we're trying to control something we don't. That was told by the rest of society and the audience about us. Like you said, we kind of came here through different paths, and we don't have like, I want to join the red. Like again, the other guy, I don't put red pill in my name. And so what I think, you want to write a book about sexual dynamics. I want to write a book about economics empirically. We want to put whatever content out there, and we had our own empirical, I'd say intellectual, maybe even principled reasons for doing that. Once it gets out into the world, especially America, you'll appreciate this, of just spectacular, like autists who don't, and I'm not talking people who actually are diagnosed, I'm talking the modern day young population where they don't want to hear. How many times have we talked, whether it's myself, Rich Cooper, Troy, do the work, ask out girls, and how many people take it and then bastardize it for their own narrative, or for their own purposes, whatever they wanted to hear. And that's what I think we see is like, oh my God, Rolla said this, gossipy. Oh yeah, women are all whores, and I shouldn't try. We got more of the crazier MGTOW community, where I've seen that where it's like, okay, you really didn't take anything that I intended. You took what you wanted, and then you pretty much excuse yourself from trying anything hard in life and to avoid any kind of responsibility for your own situation. And so these ulterior things or secondary or tertiary things that other people take away from our works or our content, that's out of our control. I used to get very depressed about it because I'm like, oh my God, is this what society is decaying to? Yes, get on with it and now move on and buy some crypto.
Enjoy the decline.
Right, enjoy the decline. And some of that was influenced by, that book was partly influenced by some of that. And so I don't get too worked up about it or too worried. Am I part of the? I don't know the difference between red pill and manosphere. Yes, I am. Do I give advice? Yes, I do. I charge for it a lot, and I don't care. I just don't care.
How many clients do you have for counseling, personal counseling? Just ballpark.
Ballpark, it's got to be around 6,000 because that's how many videos I have. Now, how many are repeat? Let's
one-on-one, like people you talk to.
Oh, one-on-one?
Yeah, like
maybe a couple
personal
hundred.
interaction with.
Yeah, maybe a couple, no more than 200. But those are kind of rare. I usually do the one and done and yell at the internet and go home. Kind
There
of
you
thing.
go.
To your point about autism, I think one of the issues is like people who have, back in the day, you guys remember the movie Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember Urkel?
Yeah.
We didn't understand autism spectrum disorder. We made fun of people who acted like that. We didn't represent. We didn't understand that they had a neurological disorder. And so now what happened, or developmental disorder. So now what happens is now they come here. Now there's a spectrum. So we diagnose more people like that. And what we find is those people, they don't get nuance. That's the main issue. But Bitcoin was at 66,000. I made a video one time. I was like, yeah, man, I think it's too high. Therefore, the answer is Michael Sartain fucking hates Bitcoin and all crypto, and all crypto is a fraud. I said it was high at 66, and that's what happened. Well, the other thing I was saying, like, hey guys, if you just do day game but you don't do any night game and you don't have any social media, that's not a good deal. Michael Sartain hates day game and all pickup and all approaching of women and cannot approach women, and that's what happens because these autists, like you said before, they're binary thinking. One of the first things I do with my clients is we have to get into nuance thinking. How how Hillary Clinton can be probably was a horrible president and probably didn't eat children. Both of these things can be true. There's nuance in there, right? And so that's the thing that they don't get. And when you deal with these people, again, they have more time to be on YouTube and be typing, and then they're on these forums and they're typing, and these sort of areas or these echo chambers select for those type of individuals, and then they hear that somebody else say this and somebody else say this. Meanwhile, like the guys who are out there banging hot chicks are probably not watching our shows on Friday night. To be fair,
they're definitely not watching.
Yeah. Oh, either that or they hate watching. You know, I was going to say, like, show we did last night. Well, I mean, really any Access Vegas show that we're doing. I think I would love to know what the percentage of hate watches are on.
Dude, like, you gotta read all the comments.
It's no longer hate follows; it's hate watching now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and another thing I'd like to add, because Dr. Phil has ended, but some people will continue on.
Gold.
Right. There is autism and Asperger's and clinically diagnosed, but I also don't think we can underestimate the percentage of just plain lazy people who don't want to put forth their own effort into finding out their own path in life and doing it. And so one of my main criticisms of MGTOW early on, I'm like, you guys are just using this as an excuse to not go to the gym, avoid getting rejected, avoiding pain. I understand avoiding pain, but if you want to have any success in any endeavor in life, you're going to have to endure failure and pain. Yeah. And so what I have seen, especially now that you can live at home and you got stimmy checks and we're going to figure this and that, your basic biological needs are taken care of on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And you got truly a lost generation ideologically, philosophically, looking for anything to glom onto. And anything that makes it simple. Mike Sartain said this, conclusion, boom, now I don't have to think about it anymore. All women are whores, I don't have to go work anymore. The corporations control everything, or the Republicans in the Senate, whatever. Oh, I don't have to work hard or pay it's okay for me to collect a check. So now, ultimately, it leads to just a miserable, non-existent existence, as far as I'm concerned. But that a certain segment of our audience is going to be those people looking for excuses. And John, I hate to give you a compliment; it really hurts.
Just feeling your, I gotta say, feeling your misery in person is so much better than feeling it through the screen and the real life misery. It's just this is
suck it right up, man.
This is prime time, baby.
One of the greatest insights that you provided was just how few people even open. They spend good money on your courses.
Bro, 15%.
They don't even show
15%, yeah.
Yeah. And I was shocked. And I'm shocked. But then, I kind of listen. I do listen to you guys every once in a while. But you're like, these people just want a treatment that they don't care about the solution. They just want the pain to go away. So the easiest thing is to sign up for a course, but not even take the course.
It's so sad, man.
It's the cheap dopamine hit. It's just okay, now I've solved this problem.
Right. So, were you offering a product, or how'd you come up across the 50% number?
No, 15% of people actually finish the course. That was
15?
Yeah, this wasn't me. It was actually Owen Cook was the first person from RSD who was explaining to me how far people would go through in his course, and that's the way it would work. But yeah, it was 15%, and that's what I also heard from like Brad Lee and other people like that. It was like, no, it wasn't Brad Lee. It was Ryan Stuman, hardcore closer, who was explaining to me 15%. Now for me, because we have like tasks they have to achieve, and because we do these live calls with 100 guys, we'll call you out if you don't get past a certain point. Hey, do you remember that thing in module 6? You have to go back to that and do that right now. Well, they have to go through the steps to get through those modules. And the first step of the whole thing is they have to fix their Instagram. So now they're exposed to the rest of my community. Like, hey, bro, you remember you made a promise at the beginning that you were going to take these actions. And what we want to do is just get it. The hardest thing to do is to go to the gym today. But you can't go to the gym 2 weeks from now. You're going to go to the gym today, and then go to gym tomorrow today, and the next day today, and the next day today. That's how you make habitual habits. So every day we try to get them to take one action, and then that's what ends up helping a lot of these guys. And then we have an accountability thing where we turn the recording off and we just go in. I'm like, bro, you don't ask any more fucking questions until you fix this one thing that we've been asking you to do. This one guy clearly has hypogonadism. That one client I have. This is the most blatant hypogonadism I've ever seen. Humongous eyes, fucking whiny voice, like it's insanity. And
fuck you.
But he's in
this guy right here, buddy. He's outing you on the air right here.
he's in his early 20s, mid 20s, right? And it's very obvious. I'm like, hey man, will you go get your levels checked? He goes, yeah, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. Every week we'll do it. And then the whole chat came on like, bro, no more questions till you get your levels checked. This is for you. It was just stuff like that. Did you go to the gym? Did you fix your Instagram? When these girls called, did you build a list? We have these steps, and if you don't build the steps, you don't get to ask any questions. We gamify the whole system, and that's how it works. Because that's the stuff I learned in the military.
It's all accountability. Accountability.
All of it's accountability.
Beautiful.
It's accountability, and it's doing the thing today. It's always doing it. You can't do the thing tomorrow. It's doing the thing today, doing the thing tomorrow, today, doing the thing the next day, today. That's how you build a habit. It's not willpower. It's just like what fucking David Goggins says. There's no willpower. Willpower is bullshit. It's all obsession. Obsession gets you to the points where you want to be. And I understand, like, it's really disappointing when I have a guy who pays me so much money, and sometimes it's the guys who pay me the most money who do the least and want the most done for them. I had one client pay me so much money, and then this girl hits me up and she goes, hey man, so-and-so, do you know so-and-so? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, he's messaging me to go out on a date on OnlyFans, but he's using his real name and his real face. I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. I went on my calls and I was like, from now on, no one, guys, I don't give, if you go on OnlyFans, it's on you, but nobody, you use your real face and your real name to message girls on OnlyFans? Are you fucking insane? It was stuff like that. That's what was going on.
But this brings, I'm kind of fascinated. Do you charge for this level of babysitting and handholding?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, all right. Because I was about to say, it's not our responsibility. Like, I throw my products out there. I don't give a shit if you follow it or not. I'm not paid anywhere near the amount of money to go hold your hand.
For sure.
So, okay, so I just want...
I was going to say that I had a new like epiphany about that. It's like the money keeps you honest and it keeps them honest.
Yes.
Because after a while, it's... Well, look at it this way. If you were going to go to a golf pro and you wanted to improve your swing, right? You're paying them X amount of dollars for, per week or month or however you work it out. And if at the end of that particular time, like 3 months, you go, okay, I'm shooting better, I'm not shooting better. It's up to you as the student to sort of assess if your teacher is shit or if he's like actually helping you do something, right? Yeah. And so if not, you stop paying him and you go to somebody else, or you just say, screw it, maybe I don't have any natural talent or whatever. But the thing is the onus of the student, the quality of your education is on the student. It's not so much on the teacher, because you have to play a part in your own education. And the main part of that is deciding whether or not this guy's full of shit or he's not full of shit. And if you keep putting money out, throwing good money after bad, then that's on you. So when the reason why there's money involved and it's not free is the guy wants to teach you a skill, obviously, but it also keeps both of you honest. So if I'm like teaching guitar or musicians, teaching other students and stuff like that, it's the same principle. But it means that you're going to show up for your fucking appointment so you can learn to play guitar, right? And so because you're paying money for it, that motivates you to go there and get it done.
But there's also this belief why some people that like paying for any of this.
Oh yeah, everything should be free. Everything should be free.
And so I'll give you an example. Like we pay. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Cole Gordon, who trains my sales team, we pay him $68,000 a year just to train my sales team. And he makes, we got up to $300-400K a month because of him. You have to spend money on people who know better than you. And that's how you make money. When I had Cole Hatter on here, he's paid something like $400,000 to one of his mentors to teach him. And Cole, he just told me about he's making $8.7 million in one deal that he's doing in a couple of weeks. Like that's the kind of stuff. Like these people have this key that can unlock, and you need to understand that. Whenever I meet people who are like monumentally successful, there was either some internship they did, so they paid with their time, or there was some program that they paid for that helped them, and they got a bunch of testimonials to understand how these people could help them, make 7-8 figures.
And we're at a point right now where, like, that's one of the reasons I was highlighting the fact that we're kind of like all the OGs of all this stuff right here. There was a time where, when Rich Cooper was charging like $2,000 for an hour of his time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's kind of exorbitant, and I wanted to, because I always wanted to help out the little guys too. Like I used to have a pay what you think it was worth kind of thing. So I would say, like, if you're 15 years old and you're in high school, you're not going to be able to pay like $1,000 an hour. So I'm like, don't worry about it. The guy who can, he just paid for you. Right, and so that's how I did it for a while, and then I didn't really.
It's like Medicare,
but there's an important principle going on there.
Pay it forward.
You get what you pay for, and if you pay nothing, you're going to get.
And so
nothing.
I used to think, like, because everybody used to give Rich all kinds of bullshit about like charging $2,000 an hour, right? Okay, there's still guys doing it today. Yeah. Oh, these guys are grifters. They're all hustlers. They're trying to like prey on insecure incels right now and just take their money, right? That's the whole thing. But you got to understand, we've been doing this for a long fucking time, and we're still here.
Yep.
We must be doing something, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so if you look at, like, say, Rich Cooper, for example, like for his private stuff, I don't know how many clients he has. That's why I asked you how many you have, okay? Because I know what he's charging. I know how many clients he actually has. And it's like they're there because they want to be there. They're paying it because they want to. And he's still doing what he's doing because that level of guys will pay that amount to do that. How many guys do you think, like out there in the Twitterverse or whatever, how many guys do you think can afford that? That level of interest. Not very many. You know who can't afford it is incels going, I can't believe these guys charge so much fucking money for it.
That's the main reason why I just do not care about their criticism. I'm like, there's no way you run a 7-figure business when you say this shit. There is no fucking way. It's just so crazy to me. That's why I have no regard for them whatsoever. And I'm just like, and I read their comments right before I go to the gym, and it's bench press max day. Fuck
There you go.
Like that's
The most glorious day of the week.
Hey, can I read this real quick?
I got some too. We'll get to super.
Brian Dupree wants to say, Cappy looking suave.
I'm going on a date after this.
There we go.
You guys are
A
invited.
Bible study?
Dude, I had enough of that when I was young. No. I'll tell you guys where later, but if you're going to be invited.
Oh, sorry. No, synagogue.
Nice.
Uncle Herschel, always on Saturday.
AJ got to. He just sent a sticker, so I want to say thank you, AJ. Anyway, go ahead, Rollo. You have
Okay, I got you.
chats?
Dung is fun. Is like these are too good not to. Cappy says, I saw your shirt. What will you do for $5?
He does a lot. For
Yeah, got it. Okay, this one was one more from him. MLD. Those are those veneers or dentures?
Dentures for sure.
Very fun. All right. Okay. Chess Newbie. This was good though. Thanks for the $20. He says autism with low intelligence is a serious problem, but if you're aware of your actions, I think you are accountable to get better. You agree with that? How many of guys do you have as sort of regulars or counsels that you would say are actually functionally autistic?
Jack Napier.
Wow. That's a given. Yeah.
Not another junior member of Rose. I know. Who let this guy in?
I would say, run that question again. Percent functionally autistic?
Functionally autistic. I mean, because if you're really autistic, you're probably not looking for help from us.
On a scale of 1 to 10, like a 2 or 3. Functionally.
Yeah, I'd say functionally autistic. I'd say a good 20-25% of my clientele.
I would say the same.
For me, about 12 to 15.
Because you work that into your plan for when you're doing your man of action.
Yeah, I have 600 clients and at least 125 of them.
The reason I ask is because, and I don't have the stat here because I don't have my laptop, but from 2000 to 2020, there's been a 178% increase in diagnosed autism in men, in boys and men.
Well, how much is that? Is actually?
That's crazy for that.
Is it really?
Yeah,
or is it
I
just
don't believe
labeling
it.
that.
Well, is it diagnosed? Was it there and we didn't see it, was it something that was?
That's exactly
remember
what's
the
going on.
'90s? Everybody was on Ritalin. Oh, you're a boy. Oh, here, give him some Ritalin to settle him down.
It's exactly my point. It's like we back in the '90s, autism was a binary thing. You had autism or you had no autism. We didn't think of it as a spectrum, and we didn't think Urkel had autism. Now we look at it now, it's like, oh, obviously Urkel is a guy with Asperger's syndrome, but we didn't see it because it's a guy who doesn't have Asperger's syndrome playing a guy who did have. So we laughed at ha ha ha, Revenge of the Nerds, ha ha, and we thought that was normal. And there's a guy in every show, Big Bang Theory, Sheldon Cooper, but there's a guy who's the functioning autistic guy in every one, and we laugh at him, and we don't recognize what was going on. Now we have this huge net, so the medical community can now treat more people with autism. It's autism, ready for it, spectrum disorder, and so of course we're going to have 178. And so now what happens? 178% more. That must mean vaccines cause autism. No, those are the people who actually have autism who believe that bullshit. So that's the thing that happens next.
There's a lot of correlates, man. I will tell you, there's a lot of a lot of people will correlate the fact that there's an increase in autism. There's also an increase in use of SSRIs amongst women as well. And so there's that you could, those are dots you can connect. Is correlation causation? No, but you could still see all of this stuff happens live in real time. Hank Moody says, anyone else read Ryan Stone's new book yet?
Not in audio, not yet.
Nope. Frame Praxeology.
I'm about.
I have because I wrote the intro to it, so I have
4 chapters in right
now.
now. Yeah, Rollo, what do you think about? At least for us, there's a sizable percentage of the guys we work with that are just socially awkward, very awkward socially.
Social skills versus not actually being functionally autistic.
That's what I'm wondering, if we're not blending those two together,
So I think
it's larger than the percentage I said.
I try to decipher, do you have a problem with permission giving yourself permission, or do you have a problem where a girl is saying, "Get the fuck away from me," and you can't tell she's
that's
saying
a good
it?
distinction.
So I look for that distinction. A lot of times it is mom and dad when you're growing up. Shut the fuck up. Sit in the corner. Stop making noise.
Yeah.
Stop making noise. Stop playing. Stop having fun. Stop having fun. Put the fucking video game down. No creativity. None.
Yeah.
None. Study. You're going to become a doctor. And their whole childhood was that. Then they grow up with me, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, slap the table. Say, let's fucking go." And they're like, "Let's fucking go."
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
Bro, for real? And then I played the replay back for him. I'm like, "Do you see the difference between how you did it and I did it?"
That is Jack
we
Napier.
gave ourselves permission.
Oh boy.
I'd say I wrote. You probably read the intro to my 5th book, Players.
Of course.
In that intro, I specifically put that section in there. As I said, look, game is not going to cure your social awkwardness. Learning game is not going to like suddenly make you normal if you are diagnosed with like Asperger's syndrome or autism. Because that's the reason I have to put that in now. Is because guys will come and they'll go, "I got to learn games so I can get a girlfriend." And what they're really saying is, "I need better social skills." And that's why, so when I hear, and I know these guys in the chat and everybody else and everybody who fucking hates us on the black pill doomer side of everything, oh, it's all those pickup artists. Okay,
Roll's disclaimer.
Pickup is fucking dead, okay? If your idea of a pickup or what game is looks like Mystery from 2004 with black fingernail polish, a feather boa, a big fucking top hat, and like elevator boots or whatever the fuck it is, that was like literally 20 years ago, okay?
Yeah.
So fucking catch up to where we're at right now. When we refer to game, it's social skills is what it really boils down to. And the reason why you can commodify it now is because there's so many guys who don't have social skills.
Just straight conversation skills do lack in the group that we.
No,
that's what we focus on.
I notice a lot of guys coming from the church look like they are on the autism spectrum because they lack social skills. They lack it from a conviction standpoint. Like, I can't look at her that way. I shouldn't talk to her. Oh my God, I'm sinning. I'm lusting.
They mix it
and
into
it's
the
like
conviction.
they don't. Yeah, they mess it up. I'm like, no, bro, you just appreciating a hot girl. Like, she's hot.
Young people are socially retarded too. Because I was in Florida with my mom, and every morning we would walk around this lake. And I said, like, watch this, Mom. I'm just gonna wave to every different demographic that walks past us. And people who are like in their 40s and 50s, they're just like, "Oh, hi, yeah, good morning, nice to see you, great weather today." But all the younger people were so like socially awkward, like, face buried in their phone, like afraid to make eye contact, thought I was up to something, and we're just two people walking in the park. So a lot of these young people, I just think because we're all grow up with these, social media devices in front of us 24/7, they lost the ability to be like, "Hey, we're two people in a room having a real conversation. Have to look at you and like deal with the repercussions of what I say in real life." A lot of them don't have the skills.
This is a really good one. Thanks. Iron Disciples are good friends of mine. You need to get in touch with them.
I reached out to them actually not too long ago.
So they said, what percentage of, this is for everybody, what percentage of guys consuming red pill content do you think are actually trying to improve themselves versus just self-loathing and watching red meat on Fresh and Fit? They're just there for the hate follows. They're there for their, what percentage do you think are actually come to find this space and they go, "I'm going to listen to these guys. I'm going to try to improve."
20%.
I would say, yeah, I was going to say,
I'm saying 20%.
15. I guess I'll copy that from you.
Normal distribution, the middle 68.27%.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying not to be literal.
And then you have the 16% here. I say 16%, and the 84% is like 1.5 standard deviations. So 16% are actually trying to improve themselves, and the 1.5 standard deviations, which would be 84%, are not. That's what I would. That's how
I would say
That's a good assessment.
The top end of the bell curve.
Yes. So you have the middle plus and minus 1 sigma, and then once we get out to 2 and 3, 4 sigma, the top end is doing it. The bottom end is like they aren't even leaving their house. And then there's the middle 68% who is like, "Oh yeah, let's watch Fresh and Fit 304s," and then they go to jerk off. Like, guys, I'm gonna tell you a story. You remember when Sonia Mallory, the week that he and I went on, this girl Sonia Mallory lives here in Vegas. She fucking films porn with her husband. You remember I told you about it? Covered in tattoos, deep voice. She's from Montreal, right? Huge fake boobs, real pretty blue eyes, whatever.
We love her.
She's on there and she's talking or whatever, and she's straight up like, "Yeah, I'm here for the abuse from you fucking guys because I want OnlyFans subscribers." I'm sitting there afterwards. I was like, "Sonia, I got to ask you a question. How many new OnlyFans subscribers do you have right now from when you went on Fresh and Fit?" She's like, 2,000. Dude, that's not 2,000 That's not 2,000 followers on Instagram. That is 2,000
Subs.
OnlyFans subscribers. That could be 500 grand for her over the course of a year. And that's, I mean, it's just crazy when you see it. She's like, yeah, they can say whatever the fuck they want about me. I don't care. But here's the funny thing. What were they saying? 3 or 4, ho. But 2,000 of you are following her now? What the fuck? Like, dude, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
That's why I think it's 84% of them are doing nothing to improve themselves, and 16% of them are.
I would. That's why I was thinking about it with our definitions. The Bell distribution curve is a good way to analyze this. So one standard deviation above is actually trying to improve themselves, or the 15% roughly we all agreed upon.
Yeah.
Then there's the center, where I would say, 304 is entertainment value, and I'd like to maybe pick up some red pill game. Then what concerns me is the last, the tail on the, what would be the left side of the Bell distribution curve. I think they're using it not just as an excuse, but almost a religion or ideology. Yeah, where a genuine
they want it to be a philosophy.
Yeah, a genuine
want it to be.
misogyny against women. Yeah, and so that's where your what is the guy that shot up or ran people over.
So let's discuss that. The 2015 a study came out that showed that violent video games do not make children violent.
Correct.
They tested that. Red pill in this whole thing, I don't think it makes people misogynistic. What I think is people are born, there's stimulus in their early life that causes them to be misogynistic, plus possibly genetically low levels of empathy, and then they look for a place to go. And the woke nature doesn't fit what they want. But there's an ideology here in Red Pill where there's a couple of guys who say some irresponsible stuff, and now they become subsets of Red Pill that are exceptionally misogynist. But the point is, Red Pill does not make them misogynist. It's just like what I said before. Cartel bosses are always sociopaths, because the first cartel boss that isn't a sociopath, he dies. So cartel bosses select for sociopathy. And what I think is, in this case, people who are already misogynist, they're just finding this programming. It's the programming is not making them do. I've never heard Rolo say one thing that he hates women, but there are people out there who will swear to God that he says this.
Yeah, because I speak the language of empiricism, and when you only understand emotionalism, it's always going to sound like anger, hate. Well, I don't agree with that, and I want to get. I don't speak the language of empiricism, but that's where I live in emotional world, and so therefore somebody speaking a different language, he must be bad.
There's another thing.
Yeah, I need to be told how to feel about this guy.
So who says we hate 304s? Glenn, we love.
We have a whole.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Podcast.
Thank you.
We just did a whole
Touchdown.
podcast saying that like every guy loves hoes. You all love hoes.
No, not every guy.
them.
No.
Brian from whatever podcast does not like
guys
those.
guys who have sex on a regular basis love. Even if I'm not sleeping with them, when I'm at a party and there's girls like dancing, just shaking their ass, and I'm in a hot tub with my girlfriend and other girls are acting wild, I'm having a blast. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, why don't you guys find God? At no point. I'm looking at my girl. I'm looking at my girl. I'm like, which one do you want, babe? Which one are we taking home? That's what I'm doing.
Let me throw something out there, because I get this all the time. It's one thing to be called like you're a hater or you're angry. It's always it's truthful anger. I've got that for so fucking long, right? But it's still truthful. Okay, so where am I wrong? That's number one. The other thing is I was hoping I was going to go head to head with Imran Ahmed on Dr. Phil about this topic, but we never got around to it. But I'm seeing it make another sort of comeback right now, that we're radicalizing the incels of the world. They're all going to be a murderous, rampaging. You're going to go take a leak. But they're all going to turn into murderous, rampaging, radicals. And there's an FBI study about the manosphere, and guys like Andrew Tate are radicalizing today's youth, just like the Arab Spring or something. Like they're all sexless, they have no prospects, and so they were just ripe for the picking for like Boko Haram or something.
They're missing the point. They're radicalized because they're sexless. Not because of Red Pill. They keep forgetting the point. 80% of men on dating apps are deemed unattractive. That's why they're being radicalized.
So I have a study for that, actually. Yeah. Political radicalization may be often fueled by obsessive compulsive disorder. This is from a psychological study. Okay, across 4 ideological samples of the United States, Republican, Democrat, and Muslim, we found direct effects between obsessive compulsive disorder symptoms and radical intentions, as well as indirect effect of OCD on radical intentions via obsessive passion. You just said that, right?
interesting.
Okay. Even after controlling for potential clinical confounds like adverse childhood experiences, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, these effects remained robust, implying that OCD plays a significant role in the formation of violent ideological intentions and opening up new avenues for the treatment and prevention of violent extremism. Okay. So were they already fucked up before they found the manosphere? Were they already fucked up before they found the Democrats, the Republicans, their religion, whatever it is? Or was it the religion that fucked? Was it Marilyn Manson that convinced them to go and kill everybody? Was it Judas Priest who convinced them with their violent lyrics to go and kill their parents?
Rollo. It was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I have to admit, I'm old.
You know what?
You start doing the
you
killing,
could
roll
make a
the
case
dice.
for 5th edition. I might give that to you.
Well, you know what's interesting is like they don't like. I got articles here, and this is from a book. It's called the Justice Against or the War Against Male Justice, right? And here's a quote, right? Jocelyn Friedman says, "Divorcing masculinity from misogyny needs to start younger. Traditional masculinity needs to be limited because it's going to be harmful to us by our boys." This is a quote. This is, I mean,
Well, yeah, what they're defining as
That's the
traditional
pushback.
Yeah.
masculinity. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, and that was from the Guardian.
Yeah.
in March of 2018. It's like they're a push to try to label anything masculine misogynistic.
Toxic.
Yeah.
I do
So
believe
it's
that's
just-
on
it's just-
purpose. You know,
yeah, it's-
absolutely. Definitely, there's a slant of Marxism with feminism, and now it's merged with this Faustian theory or this Malthusian theory. You know, about
Population control. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me roll this one out here. John Conchar says, this panel has been immensely helpful to me, specifically Cappy, MLD, and Rollo. 21 years old, and I lost 40 pounds of fat. Wow.
Awesome.
And put on 20 pounds of muscle in the last 2 years. No debt, 20,000 in savings so far. Thank you for my unplugging.
Don't you have debt from
Does
all
that guy sound like he's angry and pissed off
Right.
and is OCD and is going to
Sounds like
be
he hates the
potential
world. He just
radical?
hates the world.
Does that sound?
No.
But I
You
hate
have, to,
that.
you have to point that shit out so people don't from the outside looking in don't go, oh, these guys sound like they're trying to anything we're talking about here is going to sound like we're radicalizing. Go ahead, what did you say?
Oh, what I was going to say is I cannot give up on the idea, though, that laziness drives a lot of this. Where there is mental illness, there is OCD, like something genuinely wrong. But if you look at some of the more radical leftists, they just don't want to work. That's all it is. And they will rationalize some pretty horrific sins, basically theft being one of them, bailing me out of student loans. I'm entitled to everyone else to slave away and pay more taxes. But I could also see where this laziness is the common unifying factor, or at least a contributing factor on all these things. Whether you're a radical whatever terrorist or a radical leftist, or you're one of these incels mowing people down. You ever look at these people on their face? Like I'm not big physiognomy. I think that's the way you pronounce
Physiognomy
it.
is real, yes.
It's like you're a fat, disgusting, ugly piece of shit who put no effort into any physical
Is that the term for
self-improvement.
that? Physiognomy? I've never heard of
Yeah, but there's a G
Physiognomy.
in there,
I'll
so I don't know
send it
how
to
to.
you.
I don't know
Yeah.
how to pronounce it. But
Physiognomy.
Physiognomy.
But when
Physiognomy.
I look at someone advocating fat acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't a good-looking, hard-working person. When I hear someone advocating socialism, it ain't an engineer or a lineman or anyone who actually works a real
Mm-hmm.
job. It's always these fat, parasitic fucks who are ugly and don't want to work. But
Mm-hmm.
that laziness transcends political
We
lines.
need to make a T-shirt of that. Don't be a fat parasitic lazy fuck.
So, how about this? So, you notice that the people who are complaining are never high testosterone masculine men.
right.
That's true.
And the reason why, I'm not trying to say because it's essentially
Who's got that dinging?
but our perspective is super
Every
chat.
time we get a super chat, yes, and we're getting a lot of them.
Here we
Thank
go.
you. Keep them coming.
It's good.
We'll read them.
Here's the idea. So, do you guys remember the whole thing with Victoria's Secret? They're like, we're going to put different body types up there. And because they legitimately believe that seeing those different body types up there would make men be attracted to different things. This is how far. Now, because they're not high testosterone men, no one taught me to like a small waist, signs of youth, large breasts, and a round butt. No one taught me that. No, if anyone has any questions about that, go see Dr. Buss in his 37 culture study. No one taught me to be heterosexual. No one taught me to find women attractive. No one taught me to like sugar, salt, and fat. No one taught me to eat carbs and
No one
sugar.
taught John either, but he's going after the
Yeah.
farming.
There you go. But like no one taught.
Explain this. man.
No one taught me that, so no one can teach me.
right now.
So no one can teach me away from it. So whenever we do things that are part of our nature, they're like, well, we'll just because of a blank slate theory, which Stephen Pinker, criticizes heavily. The idea that this is going to happen. This is where pray the gay away. By the way, for the right, that comes from the same thing. This belief that like my masculinity and my heterosexuality are cultural constructs that have been taught to me, but that's because they don't have fucking 900 free tests. That's the real
I don't believe
that's
that's
the
true.
reason why they legitimately because they've never fucking played linebacker, because they've never dunked a basketball, because they've never tackled somebody. That's the reason, or been in a fight. They legitimately think that my predilections are pliable. They are not, and that's the problem. And once they come to that realization, then the only other option is get rid of all men because they're all potential rapists. That's the only other option.
Michael, what did you do in the military, man?
I flew a KC-135. I was a tanker nav, and I did some counter intel work.
Okay, so you got to be an officer for that, right?
Yep.
How long was the schooling for that to learn how to fly?
So it was 6 months at the let's say over a year with survival school, and then you have flight training, and then you have your specific aircraft, and then you have your training once you get to your unit. So there's maybe a little over a year.
How long did you do that for?
7 years, 7 days.
Oh man,
You weren't keeping track, were you?
Yeah, everybody.
Every fucking hour.
Every fucking hour I was in there, bro. I knew the day I was getting out. February 20th.
All right, let me get some of these super chats here. Nonstop Dre says, "Is Cappy taking his date to a dog park?" Yeah.
No. The dog of no real value has left
dog
me
is
again.
cool.
She's an awesome
Wraith
dog.
Denethor, thanks for that $20. He says, "Life in the 6-inch world." Okay. FT3 says, "These Roll Zero pods are really the most important content for guys that follow a lot of the different Red Pill creators. Thank you for this. Questions for me is, what do you guys think a lot of Red Pill creators are getting wrong and right now?"
Oh my God,
That's a
where
pretty
to
good one.
start?
Well, which red pill creators? I mean, there's
Well,
thousands.
I mean, off the top of your head. Go ahead.
My thing is when they take something and they twist it to try to fit a narrative for themselves, and they mislead people. It's like almost like it's like taking what is true and then tainting it to fit your niche and misleading people to follow your direction, knowing that they're going to be wrong, knowing that it's not going to be successful. Like, okay, when I hear like Ricky Red Pill, for instance, what he was saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on him again.
That's all right, go ahead.
Because like he's simply saying like, I'm going to make rules. I'm going to make laws. It's going to be laws. The reason why you're not a leader because you're a coward and you won't stand up. No, this is just information. You do with the information as you please.
Motherfucker, I was just on Dr. Phil. What do you want from me?
But it's like the way he's trying to do it is like he's trying to make a cult. No, you want to have a cult? Go do your cult shit over there. Like leave us alone.
He's going to make laws for his own cult.
Yeah, he's going to cause injury to people that are actually looking for help.
Girls, they're going to get my name tattooed on their necks. Yeah,
Seriously.
part of my code.
It's like if you're going to be pushing people to get lost and get hurt, then you need to go somewhere else. Like the information that you provide is information. Take it with what you want. Do with it what you wish. But here's the information.
That's because people they have a lack of vision. They have a lack of creativity. They don't know. They're discontent. I give them like, okay, here's the tools so you can be not discontent or at least be creatively discontent. Right. And they don't know what to do with it. They want you to tell them how to live. That's why 12 Rules for Life is so fucking popular. It's a step-by-step, or they think it is a step-by-step thing. A lot of guys, when 48 Laws of Power came out, they thought it was a step-by-step guide to be a powerful guy. That's why they banned it in fucking prisons, because they thought it was a program or a template to go from Law 1 to Law 48, and therefore then suddenly you're a level 48, I don't know, high poobah of the 48 Laws of Power and shit like that. No, that's not what it is. Yeah. But I do understand the desire to want to have somebody show you. They want the God code. They want the God cheat codes is what they want. God mode cheat codes, right?
To what you said about what they're teaching that may be wrong. 2 complaints. One would be, and I totally think Ruslan made a completely honest error when it came to this, was when he was saying to you that marriage causes men to not be divorced and be less lazy. There are no studies that show that. The studies show that people who have mental illness are less likely to get married, and people who are divorced are more likely to be depressed. But he misses the part where the study he was showing about single men, he was including divorced men. And so that's why it was 1.7% of married men were depressed and 3.6% of single men were depressed. But that includes divorced men. And he didn't say that when he did your Adam.
Yeah, of course not. You're going to leave out the.
I don't think he deliberately did that. I think that's what he wanted to believe. But that's one of the things we discussed.
If it's an area, I mean, it's implicit bias.
But the second part is, and I know this has been your complaint specifically with, like, say, Pearl, is there's 6 books. Just start with these 6 books. Ready? Evolution of Desire. Okay. When Men Behave Badly. Why Women Have Sex. The Ape That Understood the Universe. Okay. Yeah, I recommend you guys read Mate. And then what was the other one? God, I can't try to remember. Why Beautiful People Have More Daughters. Read those 6 books. Just start with those 6, and you will have a fundamental understanding of evolutionary psychology. And when you haven't read those books, I can quickly tell when you're on some show having a discussion about statistics and debating whether or not beauty is objective. Okay, I know you haven't read any books on evolutionary psychology. When you have a discussion about, like, upper body muscle in males and what women find, okay, now I know you have never read a book on evolutionary psychology. Because one thing that's so annoying to me whenever I watch The View or some other dating show or something like that is they ask questions that have answers. That's so annoying to me when people, who cheats more, men or women? Wait, stop. There are answers to these questions. There are anonymous surveys done with 60, 70,000 people. You can do these, you can read these, but they don't want to. That's where I have a problem. Those 6 books I just recommended will change your life.
It's too long didn't read.
Too long didn't read.
It's the attention span is simply not there. Yeah. But I was also going to say is that people always ask, Rollo, why don't you debate Destiny? Why don't you debate Ruslan? Why don't you debate Hafiz? I'm like, I'm happy to, but the problem is, you want to know what's going to happen? Yeah. The first hour of a 2-hour show is going to be spent with them accusing me of shit I've never fucking said, and fucking straw man after straw man after straw man, and me clearing up that straw man, assuming I can get a word in edgewise, and then maybe we can talk about things. And at the end of it, it's going to be like, well, I guess we agree on more things than we did. And bye, thanks. That's what it'll end up. You know why? Because they're not about the message. They're not about it. They're about their fucking brand. That's why.
What I would also add, a real quick way, because I'm thinking, like, okay, what red pill content creators might be wrong or hypocritical, evil, but or just ignorant. I can't think of anything aside from, like, the scams that, take my Gumroad course on Twitter with an avatar of a monkey, and it's Akil in Pakistan or something like that, and he's just like, I'm gonna get these dumb Americans money, that kind of thing.
Shout out to Akil.
Yeah.
Where you been at, man? I'm waiting for my course, bro. I paid for the
there
course.
There goes that demographic for you.
Right. So,
where's my course, Akil?
But I would. The only other thing I would say is anyone, because I think the real authentic, aside from the obvious scam artists that are coming in, I think most of the main players are legit. We might have disagreements about different technicalities, but anytime anyone tells you it's easy and are saying you don't have any responsibility, they're wrong, man.
Yes.
They're just wrong. And then anything, not because I'm a pessimist or I'm angry at the world, but because I'm a pessimist, angry at the world, and it's just not true. If they tell you something that sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And so, like, something is painfully, I can't imagine why anyone is still arguing for marriage right now in the Western world when you got divorce rates of about 40 to 50%, depending on what stats you want to quote. Like, you're just dumb. It's because
they're invested in it.
I'll
be the first one to say I'm invested in it too. I've been married for 26 and a half years. So it's like it's very difficult for people to hear me say I'm not necessarily anti-marriage in concept, but I'm anti-marriage in the sense that the way we do it now, and trying to explain that to the average 80 IQ prole is like it's like pulling fucking teeth, and there's so many. It's like playing whack-a-mole constantly. It's like how many different ways do I have to say that? The problem is that here's a guy in a happy marriage with a good life, a beautiful daughter, did pretty well for myself. I'm married well. I've got the family thing going on. I got it on tap. You know what? If this guy is telling you that marriage is probably not a good idea in this era, you're really fucked.
No, I experienced that myself because it actually sounds really contradictory, Rollo. I've been married over 30 years myself, and to say, no, I don't recommend the way it's done today at all.
I don't recommend you go to. Well, I would probably agree with Aaron on this. It's like when we discourage guys from going to university, or if you're going to go to university and you're going to take out loans, at least get into a STEM field so you can take it and use that and pay the money back and use it smartly and everything else. I think an education is its own reward. I think because before all of this shit, we're going to go to a university, get a degree, and I'll have a better job. That's the point, is to get a better job. I would argue that the point really originally is to be a better educated person who can speak about knowledgeably on a great many fucking topics, right? Whether or not that makes you money or it doesn't is really up to the drive and the ambition of that individual. I have also a BFA under my belt as well, which I've used successfully. Thank you very much, and made quite a bit. But see, that's the thing is like I can take that and I'm creative enough and I understand how to turn a buck off of that. So for me, my BFA is just as valuable as a STEM thing. I still cannot, I agree with Aaron, I can't say, hey, go to the universities. Go and take out $100,000 in loans. I can't do that. You know why? Because I think it's a great idea and concept to go to university, but the way we do it fucking now is a dead end, man.
Here's the question.
I agree.
Because I say this, I don't think guys have an issue with marriage.
I wish it was different. I hate even saying that.
I don't think guys in this space have an issue with marriage. I think the issue is with the divorce. It's not getting married or committing to people. It's the fact the way that the divorce happens.
Sure.
And the cost of the marriage. It's not marriage, it's the divorce.
That women are, in some cases, incentivized to divorce as you continue to make more money. Yeah. I was reading this one study. People don't get divorced as much when they make more money. Yeah, because I don't want to lose my shit. I got more shit to lose. That's right. I keep the mistress on the side now. She stays in Cancun now.
Let me defend some people here. Another thing about where like, oh, I can't, you're married or you're this, you live with a girl. It's like, good, then you ought to be listening to us. Yeah. You know, we're down that path. We went down that path. Now, of course, it was a different path at a different time, but we have the experience and the vista or the view in hindsight and the knowledge of the experience saying like, look, yeah, we did it this way. I want to do it that way. But especially now, given what's happening today, absolutely don't get married, major in the liberal arts, blah, 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 blah. So I'm only asking what am I?
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
It's all right. You can agree with me every once in a while.
I'm happy to be here.
Let me get this. Bear Market Dating says, Rolo, this is an empirical, fact, emotional person. You're using too many words I don't understand. So I'm going to take this as disrespect. Yes, this is a 40-year-old virgin reference.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Here, I got one. Ghislaine Benton, no social skills plus, grew up on a screen equals Gen Z. We never had a locker room experience.
Oh, man, don't get Cappy started.
And then Will Francis, he says, is this difference between ideologies that Michael believes in status over money, a.k.a. Brock the bartender, and PUAs like PWF, JAL, think money over status?
Don't take anything JAL says as in.
Oh, like, JAL. It took me a second.
Even like in the realm of like rational.
No. So just to clear up what we were saying, there's a ton of guys who have a lot of money who don't get laid. Fresh and Fit talk about this. Guys with yachts who are out in Biscayne and they don't know what they're doing. So what my whole thing is, fame probably trumps everything else. Like it really does. Fame brain. Bulgarian talks about it in his book. If you guys want to read that.
Status, right?
Right. So status would be next. But the thing with status is, how can I get status? Well, I can be competent at something. One of the ways that you can learn status without being super competent is pre-selection, and that's what I teach in MOA, is how to create pre-selection realistically, sometimes artificially, and then we use that pre-selection, or what it's called in psychology, mate choice copying, what's we call in evolutionary biology. If we use mate choice copying, then you can increase your status, and then money would come after that, because what money does is then now it allows me to manipulate reality so that I live in the condo overlooking the strip. Oh, hey, well, tonight I'm going out to a club with some girls. Hey, where do you live? See that building right there? We're in Excess. See that building right there? I live there. I live there. And then we go to my building. It's like, oh, I don't want to be away from my friends. Oh, your friends are in that hotel right there, next to where we are. You can create a reality.
Wealth enforces
exactly.
Will.
Wealth can create a will, but wealth alone isn't going to do it unless you're dealing with some extremely transactional women that live in Florianopolis.
Non-stop trade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Oh, my bad. Florianopolis, wherever.
Big Mo, we love you. I see. We love. What percentage of your viewers do you think are hate watchers, legit fans, or actually seek advice? Can you explain? We already kind of got into that. Yeah. Can you explain the psychology behind the hate watchers?
Laziness.
Yeah.
Laziness.
Yeah.
To have a good value system and have a life, you have to work at it.
It's free dopamine.
But to hate is free.
It is.
It doesn't take and jealousy is probably. I mean, you start delving into the 7 deadly sins, but jealousy or envy or whichever one. I mean, oh, they got more than me, or they're better looking than me, and got better looking gals than me. Whatever. Yeah, it's an easy ideology.
Gabby, you may hate me, right? But you would hate me more if I wasn't such a hard worker. That's one thing about me.
I'd hit you about the same.
He's lazy. He doesn't get lazy at this point.
I'm a very, very hard worker. No, because I think that's part of it. Because people think like to do it, to like have a rotation and deal with a bunch of girls. It takes a lot of effort. You have to like fucking like That's why people who are doing it are drinking like green juice and like eating,
No days off, bro. No days off.
I got 7 dates this week. It's time for the
days off.
yoga.
like, weighing their
Let's go do
fucking
yoga.
steaks and shit. Detoxing. It's a grind. It's not.
Real Femme Sapien says marriage is good if she doesn't rob you, makes lasagna, and puts out. Okay, I don't. disagree.
Where's Cappy taking MLD on that date?
Pokeballs, baby.
Pokeball, yeah.
Pokeball.
Pokeball.
He's gonna feed me with the chopsticks.
Aminda Danya says, for the people in the back, is the manosphere representative of all types of men?
No.
Representative?
I don't think it's representative of homosexual men.
Does it-
I don't think it's
Yeah.
representative of men with severe hypogonadism. I don't think it's representative of men who are extremely feminized. I don't think it's representative of men who never had any sort of male structure. I don't think it's representative of men who have such a big ego they have no intention to learn any new ideas.
Yep.
Iron Frame. A lot of guys that I've considered to be friends from high school and college have so easily accepted the new order, thinking and ideals. Do you think it's pressure, or cowardice? Awesome show so far. Thanks, guys.
Let's go with the flow.
You think it's
It's
just
just-
go on and get? You would probably be
Absolutely.
right.
It's not
Go
to
along to
rock
get
the
along.
boat. I don't
Yeah.
want to rock the boat. I like the status quo. It works for me. Let me just ride this way.
But
I got mine, you get yours.
Why is that the most logical thing? Like, why would that be the thing that you would default to? Say, oh, they're just going with the flow.
Because it's like, I don't, look, they don't want to rock anything. They don't want to jeopardize anything. Their careers
But
could be at risk.
why is that more functional than going against the flow?
You don't have to take
You
accountability.
don't, yeah, well, one.
And you don't have to take action.
It's very comfortable.
It's comfortable.
And there's
laziness.
there's a step-by-step process for laziness.
Yep.
There's a step-by-step
Laziness.
process for blue pills.
Laziness.
There's a step-by-step process, for all of these things. But I can't remember who told me this once. He goes like, with wolves, the betas they still get to eat.
Oh, you made a
they still get to
tactical
eat.
error. You're not supposed to say beta and
they-
alpha
oh,
with
boy.
wolves.
They still fuck every once in a
Where it
while.
came
Like every
from.
once, sometimes the beta, the beta fucking lion, he gets to have sex once it steals some poon or whatever. You still get to eat some food. You're still a lion. That's why.
Poaching poon.
That's why.
Pushing
Is
pee.
he doing the sneaky poon approach or what?
Yeah, for sure.
Michael Sartain hates wolves.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, gosh. Call PETA.
Well, okay. So the reason I kind of press you guys on that, because what we think is obvious, like we kind of have to why do I think that is obvious? And I would also say one of the reasons why guys go with the flow is because they don't want to put themselves at a disadvantage in the sexual marketplace, because if they're not doing what everybody else is doing, then they're not going to fucking reproduce.
Yep.
They're on the outside. Right.
Blind Controller says step by step is the method to graduate school, and that's the only method a lot of people know. It was drilled in us from 5 to 18 years old.
Yeah.
Kyle. Rule Zero was made specifically to get rid of dudes that joined the space for emotionalism, grift, etc. If you're not here for positive male identity, the male sexual strategy, then get the fuck out. Heartfelt, of course. Thank you. Heartfelt. Do you? Okay, here we go. This
Get
is
a
okay.
date, you
FT3.
nerd.
Thank you. Do you think we underestimate the amount of women in the U.S. who are LTR marriage material? Hold on, there's a follow up. I know extremes need to be used to get the message across to viewers, but is it overstated? John.
Wait, overstated the low number or the high number?
No. Underestimate the amount of women
Underestimate.
in the United States who are actually long-term relationship marriage material.
Dude, so I just can't deal with how masculine American girls are. But I don't know. It's hard. Dude, for me, 70% of people in America are fat. Isn't that the actual number? That's
Yes,
not, that's
for
not
sure.
an exaggeration,
You're right.
right?
Yeah, you're right.
7-0.
Actually, I think it's 75 now.
You know?
70, I think it was 73, and that the average woman weight in America is 176 pounds.
She's like a beach ball. Yeah.
170.6.
Yeah, 170.
Well, it was. I believe it's 75% is overweight, and then 35% of men are morbidly obese, and 40% of women are.
I played
morbidly
left tackle in high school at 177 pounds, and that's how much.
Yes.
Oh my God, the average woman weighs that.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Let's just say, for sake of argument, that's still like
That's
guys
average
are
at 5'4".
fat and lazy too. But are we overestimating or underestimating the sort of marriageability
Well,
of
give me
women?
a
'Cause that
number.
is
I know the
Now, what
number.
is
That is a
marriageability?
constant
Like, are you
theme
talking
right
about
now.
like, a woman that is going to be, deferring the authority to you. She's going to be complimentary to you. She's going to be agreeable. Are you talking about that? Or are you talking about looks and that?
If only there was a actuarial study.
Oh, then the
done
number
on it.
drops.
Well, if you see a hot girl and you're just like recreational use only, that's not an LTR. That's not a marriage. So there's got to be other factors added into that.
Dude, the average girl in the States has become like a hoe, though. That's the thing.
All right. I'll just give you guys the answer, but while you guys meander around and flail.
Okay.
2.73%.
What does that mean? Give us
That's from
come on,
the
Mr.
book,
Wizard.
this
Book of Numbers. Oh
this
my God!
Brilliant, good-looking, handsome man wrote this thing called the Book of Numbers. Analyze the.
I don't know if it's that low. 2.7%.
Did you do the numbers? Did you have an actuary?
It has
take
an
a look
awesome
at it?
cover, by the
It
way.
does have an amazing cover. So anyway, this incredibly handsome, intelligent man who wrote this book and had it audited by an actuary came up with 2.73% in the United States for
Also
marrying age women, quarter Jew, and
Is that from 28 under? Is that the marriage
from
age one?
18 to 35 of marrying age women. And this was, of course, you could question the methodology and all that, and nowhere is it like 2.73%. It's in a ballpark of single digits. Easily.
Are we in a post-marriage society?
We are in a. What do you think?
I do think you're right.
I've been stealing that for a while, but I don't think we've ever talked about that. Are we
Let's do a
actually? Because
show on
that's
it,
essentially what that question is.
Right.
Are we in a post-marriage society?
But I didn't know what he was saying. Like, if he said, I think 25% of the women are marriage material, it absolutely is not that high. But neither is it zero. So, but it is somewhere in the low single digits.
That
is what I'd
is too black pill. 2.7%.
That's crazy to me that you're making that argument. He's making a
It
counter
is
argument.
odd.
That he's the one making the
He's
counter
been
argument.
wrong several times.
Where John's coming from is I kind of agree because the guys we see, a lot of the guys we see, hundreds of guys that we talk to, a large majority of them, they want that LTR. That's what they want. They pine for that LTR.
I think if you have not quite the highest standards physically, and you're dealing with girls in closer to Des Moines and further from Brickell, I think it might be higher than 2.7%, but I don't know.
Well, there's variables you can adjust.
But by the way, there are people that want long-term relationships, and a girl has a fat ass, and now she's now in the obese range. She's like, so that's the thing. But for me, I've hosted 47 bikini competitions. I hosted the 2 biggest bikini competitions in the world this last year, and it took that like 400 girls for me to find my girlfriend.
Damn.
Well, that's less than 1%.
Yeah, but you're
Now-
not
now
an
let me ask
animal,
you
though.
this.
You're not a normal guy. You're like, baby, I want to do threesomes and fucking orgies and shit.
Okay,
It's a king of Las Vegas.
You're not like, hey, baby, I want to go get some fucking. I want to go watch the Avatar movie with
But
you.
are you going to marry? Are you going to
That was a
marry any?
beating.
Are you going to marry any of these girls? Are you going to put a ring on any of these?
Well, I mean,
or let's say I shouldn't say any. I don't want to name names, right? Or like particulars. But would you
'Cause
want to put a ring
know
on?
my girlfriend.
I know your girlfriend is.
Yeah.
But do you want to put a ring on anyone's finger?
So I'm 50-50 on that right now. If I was gonna rank it, my business comes first, the charities I work for second, and then getting married would be further down the
Okay,
line.
now
My
by marriage,
relationship-
I say, okay, let's just say for sake of argument, there's no like legal ramifications. Like, do you want one partner for the rest of your life?
it's not a huge priority. It's not a huge priority. I could take it or leave it.
And that's
but
why
I would want it. I would
yeah.
want it so that we could raise kids together. That was the
Yeah,
only reason.
and that's what most guys are saying
Yeah.
too.
Correct.
What I get into is when everybody likes this, what's a high value man? What's a high value woman, right? Who fucking cares at this point? Because the high value man he's 50-50 on wanting to get married to any of you, not just the one, she's perfect. Look, she's got all value added and
People who
everything.
say like high value man is a patriarch. Shut up. I agree with the stance that patriarch is important, but just because you are a father doesn't necessarily mean you're high value.
But see, it makes very, very, or for women. Like we have women on here all the time. One of the first, I'll thank you very much for this question, Aaron, because I use it all the time. Like, do you want to get married? And every one of them's like, of course, I want to find the one. And then you say, what level of priority is it on? And there's like, it's about number 8 of 10.
Yep.
It's like, well, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yep.
Yep. And they're girls who are like could lock down a guy if they wanted to. Yep. They just want a guy like this, who doesn't want to get with anybody, not much less even the high value women. I got plenty. Why would I want to?
Yeah,
What's my incentive?
find a guy like that.
What's my motivation here?
Yeah.
The girls in America, their standards are way higher.
Insane. Yeah, you're
They're
right.
inflated. Yeah.
They're just like some of these girls look at me and think like I'm not enough. I'm like, bitch, like what are you really bringing to the table?
Yeah.
It's like an insult now. You're not an alpha. All these alpha male podcasts, like
some of these girls, they treat you like if they want to fuck you, like that's the end all be all of like your existence as a person.
Well, you see,
It's almost
that's
like
funny
saying you're an
because that's what a
incel.
lot of girls don't realize. They think like, oh, just because they got a whole bunch of guys sliding in their DMs, all these guys want me. No, we just want to fuck you.
Yeah.
And then dismiss you. Okay.
That's really hard for
Do you guys? Do you guys?
The dudes are way too thirsty in the States. Too,
Yep,
man.
that's true.
Way too.
It's like there's a
thirsty.
difference between marriage material and fuckable.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like
Recreational use.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's girls I want to date that I know I never want to marry, and
Yeah.
there's a third place there, which was pretty much my life in the last 20 years. But yeah, you're exactly right. But and the other men, so it's not just that. So there's two things that happen. Number one, they had sex with an NBA power forward, so they think I am now my level of status is attributed to an NBA power forward. Number one. Number two, I have gone on social media. I've taken these thirst trap photos. On the photos, I have snatched my waist using Facetune. You can write these down if you want. Then I've gone on Face App and I've used the fucking stunning filter or the movie filter to make my face more symmetrical. And now this Russian fucking AI program has made my face more symmetrical. And now I have this perfect face. Now I post it on social media. I get 100,000 likes on this photo that does not look like me. I fucked a power forward. I got 100,000 likes. I am equivalent to that level of status and that level of man waiting for Blake Griffin to slide in my DMs. That's where I am. And then they meet normal guys like, I make $100,000 a year and I take care of animals. I work in animal rescue and, I'm a doc, I'm a vet. I actually, save animals for all the time. Fucking peasant. Do you have any coke? Where's your fucking Lambo, peasant? That's essentially what this guy's 5'11".
What color's your Bugatti?
How dare you speak to me? You are 5'11". What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, you're right. That's essentially what happens.
Yeah.
It's a very America-centric problem too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Here, I got another one here for you. Let's see. Has John recovered from the girl on the whatever podcast yet?
That was hilarious.
That was a rough one.
Did you see that?
No.
No.
Glenn Thor, MLD, so hot the ice cap is melting.
Oh yeah.
Very good. Yeah. As far as like I think it was whenever we were doing the show with the girls here, we always get this these, I guess, hate follows.
Yeah.
And it's all it is like, those girls are fake. They got big boobs. It's the Kardashianification of the girls with the big boofoo lips. And so there's like an archetype. It's almost like a template, cookie cutter template thing. And so what happens is these guys and what we joke about. At first we were saying, maybe we should get some normal girls in there. Maybe we should get some nice.
So we had Miss
and we're
Nevada
like,
on.
No, we're not going to do that because
And they
you don't
called her
want
a
that.
hoe.
Yeah.
They called her a ran-through hoe. They had no evidence whatsoever. We had Catherine Taylor on here yesterday. No social media, no plastic surgery. She's a fucking working actress.
Yeah, she
She's
likes
loyal.
Aaron, man.
She's loyal to her.
Oh, the hiking gal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's a nice gal.
But all these girls are ones and twos without their makeup. Catherine Taylor is not a one. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Shut up, dude. Like that's the part that just like Tiana Jacqueline is Miss Nevada. Steph Cook was the runner-up for Miss Nevada. They're not ones and twos. Steffi Joseph is not a one. But that's what they do. They come up here and they say this shit. And I'm like, you have no ability to get women and you're saying this. How is this helping you in your life?
So as far as like the what I was just talking about a minute ago, when it's like, is that this woman an LTR material? Is this woman a marriage material? And so we have, I think in the manosphere, we kind of have these like competing conversations, right? There's, the goal is to have a long-term relationship and get into marriage. And that's the TradCon usually side of things. It's like, this is the end goal. This is the only reason you would be in the manosphere or learn the dating skills or social skills is so you can, have the white picket fence and like have this idyllic, lifestyle. And then there's the other side, which is fuck anything on two legs. Just like
Michael Sartain model.
What are you talking about?
That's a door model.
Hey, baby, I miss you. I'll call you when I get home, baby.
wait.
I'll call you when I get home.
Not in so many words, but that's what, like, when Ruslan was trying to, like, sort of straw man me
That's how he tries to put it up.
Yeah, it's like he'll say, well, so your philosophy is, like, dude, it's not a fucking philosophy. And then second of all, is to use this material to get as much a notch count, because notch count is the metric by which your manhood is measured and stuff. And just so you just fuck a bunch of bitches and you feel better about yourself and blah blah blah. It's all like beta male cope
See,
and
I asked you that question.
rationalization.
Remember that? I sent you a message like,
Yeah.
okay, remember, you said male's sexual strategy is to have a limited sexual experience. Or so that could be, you could take that one or two ways. That could be like, fuck anything that walks. Or find somebody that gives me access to unlimited sexuality with one person. You can take it one or two ways.
Right. So
Or you
it's-
can blend them both.
Or you could find one person who gives you unlimited sexuality to other people. That's another one.
well, so ironically
don't
enough,
knock it. Don't knock it till you try.
ironically
Exactly.
enough, the sort of the enforced socially enforced monogamy side of things is the tradcon side, which is the only reason you need the red pill is so you can finally get to that perfect little wife and hubby in the hills in a nice house with white picket fence, or it's you're a pickup artist and you want to all you're going to do is spin plates and have a rotation, and that's that I wouldn't want all that meaningless sex kind of thing, right?
that'd be
So
horrible.
it's just PUA or it's so you only get to go two ways, and I'm going to say right now when guys are in here or in the chat and we're on Access Vegas and they're saying, I would never wife up a girl like that. I have more respect for myself than to approach that girl.
Oh, that happens all the
Right?
time.
And it's like, of course, it's very self-evincing when they do that. I'm like, why would it matter? You are the same guys who say, never get married, bro.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're saying, I would never wife this girl up. Then what the fuck are you even talking? Why would you waste the calories
you run
in your
into 'em
head
all the
to
time.
type that shit out?
And they say, I don't date anything except 8s, 9s, and 10s. That's it. That's all I will. Nothing else. I'm not touching a thing.
Yeah, I know. And meanwhile, they're like part of the 75%
Exactly.
of guys
I
that are
think-
overweight.
I'm like, are you even close to an 8, 9, or 10? Like, have you even talked to an 8, 9, or 10?
Oh, me? No, I'm a 5. Bro. I'm a hard 5
no,
with some
girls,
makeup
no,
on.
girls, girls.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Well, we do our math a little different over
Yeah.
here, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, 2 4s together is an 8.
Dude, hey, listen. You can. That's
Speaking
good.
of women over, a certain
So I'm gonna we're kind of coming up on time here in about another 15 or 20 minutes or so. I wanted to also, since we're the OGs of the field here, where do you think the manosphere is going? What do you think is like as far as the state of the sphere is concerned? Like, what do you think where do you think we're headed? And is it a good place or is it a bad place?
good place.
Who wants
Yeah.
to, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go, just because I don't have a sexy prediction.
Sorry.
I think it's just going to be more of the same. And speaking of OGs, you have to admit what we did was reconstitute lost wisdom that had been expunged from society by feminism and technology and all that other stuff. So we have rediscovered it, put together new laws, tenets, things like that. Like the groundwork's been laid. I think going forward into the future, it's going to be responding to how society evolves and changes within society, and a context of how that affects male-female relations. So, well, I'm trying to think of something like 10 years ago. Well, a perfect example would be technology. Before swipey apps, you would have a good case for talking to girls in person. People would be showing up. All of a sudden, boom, here comes this technological advancement of dating apps and social media. That it didn't change the fundamentals of what we rediscovered and reconstituted, but we did have okay, well, how do we handle this? And Fresh and Fit have done a phenomenal job, fielding that one. More modernly, I don't know. We could argue an increased government role in the welfare state, women needing men less and less and less. Whatever it is, I think the foundational work has been done, and it will be up to us, not to mention our successors, who are
That's what I'm
on the
thinking
ground.
these days,
I hate to give Jack a compliment either, but Jack Napier is a younger man who has a really good Tinder game. So I think that those are going to be the people that when we're retired and we want to go.
They're going to be taking care of us.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what are we going to do?
Can't wait for these younger guys to pay me Social Security.
Let me put an add on to this. Have you so
Retirement plan right there, pal.
do you think that the PUA / red pill communities, I hate it when they, but okay, the PUA and the red pill communities are not the one and the same, but do you think PUA red pill communities have shrunk and incel / MGTOW black pill communities have grown?
Yeah, the guy
Yes.
did that
Yes,
study, didn't he?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Look at
Yes,
that right
because dudes giving up now more than ever.
Right.
now. Do you
Listen,
think that PUA leads to incels?
No. The PUA guys that are still doing it are getting plenty of pussy right now.
I think the guys that strive to be POAs that fail lead to black pill.
Could be, yeah.
It's like, oh, I tried it, it didn't work. Screw all women.
Like PUAs, like going to the street and do day game and stuff like that. That's like a hardcore skill. to
Nobody's
develop.
doing that.
No.
literally no one is.
No,
doing
there's
that.
there are people.
I mean, yeah, but I'm like,
there
Like
are
on the
people-
average-
in comparison to when it was at its peak in RSD days, the Venusian Arts days.
I agree. I definitely agree. But there are definitely still people getting.
Shout out to the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, California, filled with pickup
Good
artists.
fucking
Yep.
place too.
Filled with pickup artists every Thursday and Friday night. You guys can meet all the pickup artists you want at Bungalow in Santa Monica, California. Filled with pickup artists all night long.
I just shot a commercial at the Roosevelt not so long ago.
Yeah. So here's what my thing is. I think it's not a function of if it's good or bad. What will happen is if it lasts long enough, talking heads will adopt it, and then it will become cool again because it made it. Does that make sense? There'll be a sort of a reinvention. So like I've been talking to
So
Eric.
you're saying Dr. Phil might come in
For sure. I've been talking to Mystery. Like we text every once in a while, and I promise you, he'll start doing podcasts again, and then he'll be like, he'll go on Steve-O or something like that, or do some huge podcast, and then he'll be popular again. Like no one cares anymore. Like that's what'll happen. The thing that I'm actually legitimately worried about is that I believe that pretty soon TRT is going to be considered toxically masculine.
Oh, I agree with that.
Men regulating their own testosterone levels, because what's going to happen is you're going to have guys who are in their 50s and 60s who have testosterone levels of the 19-year-old, and now all of a sudden I have more wisdom and more money than I ever have, and I have a new bench press max, and I'm just as aggressive and just as assertive as the new 19-year-old guy who just came into the business. That's dangerous for people who like the status quo of the older grandfather to archetype who becomes who gets smaller and smaller arms and becomes a little pudgier and then sits in the
I get that
lawn chair.
all the fucking time, man. People are like, hey, man, act your age.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
how about you?
Who are
go
you
fuck
referring to,
yourselves?
Mike?
I already know people, who already make their own juice and stuff too. Though, like there's ways there's going to be more and more ways to get around that.
I don't think it'll be illegal. What I think is because,
okay.
but by the way,
be the target.
what's legal now is insanity, bro.
Yeah.
You can get HGH legally. I got a guy for you. Want a guy? I got a guy who'll get you Anavar like it in shit. So that's the thing. Everything, dude. All the war against steroids from the early 2000s. That shit is clearly over, bro. You can get it mailed to your house now. The stuff that you I don't know if you can get trend, but like the stuff you can get sent to your house now legally is insanity.
Everybody's admitting that it actually works.
Yes.
Before they would deny that
Yeah.
it actually works. So,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's an easy bad guy. I think us manospherians are an easy target.
Yeah.
But I think we're very hopeful because I think nature, evolution will take its course. And as men,
Yeah.
as we impart our knowledge to men, they will start to adopt a dominant masculine presence again, and that will start to self-correct.
What
So
happens?
I'm hopeful for the future.
What happens when they do studies of men on TRT and they make more? What happens when they do study? They haven't done this yet. What happens when they do studies of men on TRT and they have more sexual partners?
Patriarchy.
What happens when they do studies of men on TRT and they're in better physical shape?
Civilization
What
will be
happens when they
better.
do? When they do studies of men on TRT and they have louder voices? What happens when they do these studies and then women find them more attractive? Then we got to get rid of TRT. That's essentially.
They actually do too.
The reason why
Those are all true
they'll
things.
the reason why they'll be like it'll be shamed, and first of all, I'm sure it'll be hell. It's shamed now, right? Because it reinserts you back into the sexual marketplace as a competitor. That's why. Yeah. You're not used to I need a cane. I need a cane and walk around my whole.
So I think like for a short term,
at your age, Gramps.
for a short term, the manosphere is going to be getting hit in black eye. We already got a black eye right now with everything you see, associated with Tate. You get the whole Tate thing; it's a black eye, right?
There'll be some other stuff that comes up too between now and like August.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think in the long term, it will be better, or it's still good, but it's going to get through that growing pain. I think we're in the middle of a growing pain. Like we have to shut off some things, and then we're going to climb back up. Like we just got to get around a few of these bumps that we see, get past it, clear it up, and then move forward. And I think we'll be fine.
Excellent. Super chats here. My favorite OGs, all in one room. Thanks for that 200 yen or whatever that was.
I got Rollo, one from Public Nuisance. Rollo reminds me of Chris Jericho and that older guy with the beard that looks like WCW version of the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, Macho Man.
Whenever I go to the Red Rock here, there's like I go play craps because that's the only game I play. Like the guys, hey, it's Chris Jericho again. I'm not fucking Chris Jericho, right? Wraith Denethor says, it's binary understanding. You are either a savior or you're the destroyer of women. Yeah, of course, it has to be binary. Cappy, I put your book on my boss's desk. The Curse of the High IQ.
Good.
He must have enjoyed it. His face has been red in many months.
Good.
Hasn't been red in many months. Okay. And last one. Salute to my brothers from Offie Kingdom. Hey, brother.
Hey,
what's
Offie.
going on with you, man?
Hey, Offie, hit me up. We're gonna be. Are we gonna be recording tomorrow? Offie, hit me up. So he's in town tomorrow.
You know what? I always
Let's go to Grand Canyon with us.
Oh, is he there?
Oh, you guys go.
Or is it tonight?
Isn't, I don't know. Anyways, I have done this before, but I just so I don't repeat myself too much here. I kind of agree with you. I think we're going to be on the downswing. We go in cycles. We are now in by August-ish will be officially be in the election cycle for the United States. So everyone who is grifting off the manosphere right now will suddenly find other things to talk about because that will be more popular. I would say that probably like conspiracy theories, the Matrix, they're out to get you. This paranoia will be eminently sellable. So it will be more. It will drive traffic away from the sphere to that kind of stuff because people. What's the cheap dopamine hit? Well, we're not in an election cycle, and there's no enemy. If there is no bad guy, then nobody gets paid. And so once we have a bad guy, an identifiable, it's the baby eating Moloch worshiping Jeffrey Epstein Island, Illuminati, right? That if we can focus on that, then we're going to focus away from it. It's whatever the flavor of the paranoia of the month, the moral panic of the month is going to end up being. And it'll be amplified, I think, in the coming months because of the election cycle. However, it'll come back. You will find. You know what they said? Was it Warren Buffett who said? When the tide goes out, you see who's swimming without any underpants on.
Warren Buffett.
Well, the manosphere tide is going to go out, and the people who ain't got no underpants, who got into it just for I'm an entertainer, like those people. You know what they're going to do? They'll pivot to to get to something else, and you'll see who's about it and who's not about it when this happens. I've seen it happen. This cycle happens, in waves. So, and then also, I like what you said about the respect thing because it's like I have on several occasions. Actually, I was in the fourth book. Talked about respect and how men and women have differing understandings and differing concepts of respect, just like they have different concepts of love. They have different concepts. They're more esoteric. But one of the things is when we talk about respect. And this maybe gets back to us here as well. It's sort of like being the old OGs. Do you just respect a guy because he's old?
No.
Right? We used to have respect for your elders. That used to be a thing when we were growing up.
Yeah,
we had
baby
to
boomers told me that a lot. Yeah,
right.
No, that's right.
Exactly.
Respect,
Well,
yeah.
but you know that's a thing, right? Respect your elders. Just so if a guy's old, you kind of have to show some respect to that guy. We don't do that anymore.
No,
we have no earthly concept of who's this old motherfucker. They don't want to respect you unless they can see what you have done, unless you have been about it, unless you have actually put in you've got your flowers, you've got your receipts and everything else. So I was going to say, as far as respect is concerned, when it comes to like being a guy who's let's just say seasoned, do you think that there's any implicit respect that is deserved for guys just because they're old?
Well, when I was raised, you're
the oldest one here, so that's why I'm looking at you.
In my 60s, that was a big deal. And it was a part of our social structure to show respect to the elders, mostly because they survived and they're still alive and they're imparting their knowledge to you. I like that aspect. It's much less. And you can see a lot of disrespect to the older people these days that I didn't see as much when I was younger. It's like, get out of the way, old guy, like you said, or even in your career, well, he's old, let's put him over here. He can't do as well anymore. I'd like to see that come back, but it's got to be earned. I think if you're going to be an old guy, you can be that old codger. That's a cranky old
Can't wait.
boomer.
Well, is there a confusion between respect and honor? Because you can honor.
You tell me.
You can honor your elderly. Honor honor them. Respect
I honor Aaron.
Yeah, I honor Aaron all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
Is there a difference between
You're a good
respect and
elder,
honor?
Aaron.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I had to know something. The live chat from the Adam Sosnick interview with so-and-so from Brazil, it's still up, and I'm reading the fucking live chats right now. They're all still up.
Really?
Why don't we should just do a show, and since Adam doesn't want to read them, why don't we just read all of them?
Fucking A, that'd be great.
What a great idea. We could do it now.
Okay, let's do it now. Oh, man, here you go. Rare treat.
Okay, so
we'll go out on this.
that'll be
This is
fun.
too good. Yes.
Let me
go
get
right
prepared.
ahead. I was gonna say put your hazmat suit on.
Listen. If you want to do this,
Too
that's
good.
fine.
Too
If you guys
fun.
want,
Great
if
idea.
you guys want to just go read them yourself, just go look at that. I don't want to say his name because he will absolutely
Fat
try to
kid
sue
in
me.
Brazil. That's
There we
all I
go.
gotta say.
There we go. Here, well,
All right.
Let's find a couple of them here. There's
All right,
yours.
set
It's
'em up. All right, you
yours
go
was
right ahead.
like, how much did Anthony Johnson pay you to dox my daughter and my wife? That was the one you sent?
Yeah.
Yes. Hold on. Do you have it?
We're
pulled
reading
up?
all of it. We're gonna give you your money's worth. So if you didn't get your super chat read on that show, we'll get it right here. We'll take care of it for you, Natalia.
Here we go.
Funny how she couldn't find him, but we can.
I'm just going to say the word Brazil dates LBGT community members too. That's one from Thai City. He spent $20 to say that. The next one here would be, hold on, let me see what it says. What's another one? Do you see these?
I'm trying to find it right now.
I'm not looking at it. Well, you're looking those up. Dre, thanks for that. Let's see. Dark Knight says, starting to not like the passport bros. It's a lot of validation seeking and behavior instead of learning game. I think it was a good idea originally. Now it's cope. You can't keep calling it a conspiracy when there are government docs proving it. Okay. Walt Mosher says, divorced 50s man here. Financially established, TRT, 5 years. It's a game changer and mood and energy. The colors are different, right? And hooking up with younger 20-something women. Bravo, brother. And then Tomo says, keep saving lives. I will. And some elders are the reason we have problems we're having.
Yeah, that's true, too. And I think that has a lot to do with the disrespect. Yeah, they should.
He spent $50.
$50. Okay, $50 from Umpire Max from the pod from the Saucecast. Yeah, yesterday. What percentage of this fat kid in Brazil's lay count is trans men and night ladies? He's been exposed many times and has done it himself. So exposed is kind of a relative term because he's the one that's exposing it.
Dude, it's another one. Like these guys are like spending good money.
I know, good
to
God,
save
man.
shit.
$67. Okay,
How much money do they make on
how
that?
many transgender women has the fat kid been with?
Oh my God, bro! Like I'm not. No, listen. I'm just reading. That's all I'm doing. I have no. Let me see here.
Oh goddamn!
Yeah,
Wait!
yours.
I got one here. I got to give you this one. This is in our chat. Thanks for this is $50 from Alex Hicks. He says, "Thank you, thankful for your guidance, everyone. Questions about money? I have private pilot license and a solid job. Invested in one rental property. Remain in job. Expand real estate? Question. Or pursue certification to reach flight goal of becoming an airline pilot."
Wait, what?
React to me.
Go to. What did he pay?
$50, man.
Oh, $50. I should have paid attention then.
He wants to know if he should get into real estate or if he should go after being a commercial airline pilot.
They're desperate. They're desperate for it now.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, if he's already up, if he already had his license, one level of them.
We said respect your elders because they fought in wars. Actually, no, that came a lot before, long before that, my friend.
Why don't you read those two?
Well, one of them's mine. $10 from the Rational Mail. Could you explain why he was booked in Clark County, Nevada for an open/gross lewdness, coercion with force, and first-degree kidnapping in 2013? All documented, all there, public records.
He actually made a video where he blamed me for that. To be honest with you,
Really?
Yes, he said that I said.
Oh, you have no idea how much jail,
I want to know the
hates
truth
him.
about that.
Yeah,
When we get offline.
for sure. What's the next one here from Gunner TV?
Gunner says, ask the fat kid about his secret used contraceptive stash in his cabinets.
Oh my God, bro! All right, I'm hitting up Adam and I'm.
And
like,
you know what?
Adam, you need to watch this.
Here. By the way, here is the super chat I was not able to get on there, which was, why don't you ask him about the interview he did with Justin Waller's mom?
Oh, that's
How
right.
about you ask about that? Do your fucking research, man. Do you want to know why people get pissed off at you and say you're not about it? That's the kind of shit. You'll have Justin Waller in there. You'll have Sterling Cooper. You have us in there, and you don't do your background check on this guy. He was literally fucking with Justin Waller's mom. So go look that shit up before you have people like this, pieces of shit on your show like that. The fat kid is an addict. He has even paid for play. Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
Oh, and we also know that he's been blackout drunk in a Denny's somewhere, I think, right?
Yeah.
Not a Perkins though.
Not a Perkins.
Not
That's a
a
high class
Perkins. That's
establishment.
high-class
Right, friend. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say, like, I'm not going to make any comments about this. And yes, dude,
But we read the comments that you didn't read.
If you want to debate me, which I know several of your friends have asked, I'd love to debate you. But you're going to be in the same fucking room with me if we do it.
Yeah.
Okay? Sound good. I will debate you anytime. I'll come to Florianopolis if you want. But you're going to be in the same room with me if you want to debate me.
You know he's
They
not
don't
going
want
to do
that.
that.
They don't want that
Oh, I
smoke.
didn't want that
He'll
smoke.
pee on himself if he was in the same room as you.
Be on himself. He would be on himself. We should get. I was joking last night. We should get like Alex from Playing with Fire,
Oh.
Destiny. We should get the fat kid. We should get who else hates me? Like basically get all the people like who like have a problem.
Line
with
them
it.
up.
Sit them here and say, shoot, fire away.
Bring
Here
it.
we go. Bring it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is,
Oh,
they
you
can't-
fly your ass out here. Let's do it.
They can't get
Yeah.
past me, so they're not going to get past you.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Like who hates me, right?
It's like, who does it right now?
I know. My chat's like, who's that fat kid? Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
How long
man.
you been following me? How long you been following this guy?
I mean, anybody that states instead of
He was
body count,
the
states
last
leg
guest
count, you know
on
he's kinda off.
Saucecast. Go look. Any more of these? Any more good ones? I want to know how much they actually blew off here. Ask the fat kid about getting punked by Danny Mullen. Really? Fat kid, what was your strategy for ethnics looking to score? I'm often mistaken for AA, Arab, and Indian, but I'm actually Latino. My area is very waspy, and it's hard to compete with the Chads.
There you go.
By the way, he also belonged, Adam Sosnick, he also belonged to an organization called the Vegas Pussy Massacre.
What?
Okay,
Oh,
you
wow.
got to explain,
What?
Rolo.
I know. And cancel.
Listen. First off, Adam, I love you. I just don't think Adam understood what was happening.
Adam, I'm done with you.
I don't think Adam quite grasped what was going on. And then that's the only thing. Number two, person in Brazil, again, can't wait to meet you. Like I can, from the bottom of my heart, I have nothing bad to say about you. And I would love to debate you. Just we're going to do it in person, okay? Next time you want to say my face is fat from drinking so much when I don't drink alcohol, we're going to do that in person. And when you say I was never actually in the military, you're going to say that to me in person. We're going to do that, okay? Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Last ones here. God damn it.
What?
Okay, Aaron, Paul from Come On Man podcast.
Oh God, I like Paul. Don't
All
you
right,
like Paul?
so Waffle House,
Yeah.
or Perkins.
Well, obviously,
Ooh,
I would
Waffle
like to
House.
not get shot, so I go to Perkins.
Waffle House.
I've been to the Waffle.
Oh, and thank you for that.
And- all right,
Thanks
all right.
for watching.
All right. Even the food is better at Perkins. Like, so if I had my armor and a pistol, I would still go to Perkins.
Yep. Jack, thank you very much for your $9.99. I've read ancient Rome went through cycles of collapse, from strong male patriarchy to no fault divorce in Rome. Entitled women to men avoiding marriage. If that's not eerie, I don't know what is.
Okay.
Well, it's a cycle, right? You know, history repeats itself.
See, I don't know. I strongly disagree with the cycle
from a
theory.
book. So again, I was with Ruslan on Monday,
Yeah.
and what the argument I would make is the tree of knowledge of good
Yeah.
and evil. What's happened is Dunbar's number was 150 people in our tribe, and now we all can look at these unbelievably beautiful women who don't actually look like that, and these men that show status that they don't actually have, a rented Lambo and a fake Patek watch. And so what's happened is now we're always, this knowledge is making it so we're never happy with what it is that we have. There's not one dating marketplace anymore. There's just one global marketplace, and that's essentially what happens.
There's a reason why there's a little apple throughout this entire book. And if you'd have read this fucking book, you would know that.
Yeah, it repeats itself. We don't.
Does it though? Now, here's why I disagree with this history repeats
Well,
itself.
when I say repeat itself, it's like we're running to this. We're not running to a new problem.
No. But yeah, because human beings are going to be human nature is
Yeah.
human nature. I got it. Okay, but like what I'm saying is like, when people ask me like, when's the pendulum going to swing back? You really want to go back to a romanticized era that didn't exist in the first place.
Yep, correct.
And then second of all, for instance, the young men, I love using this example, the young men who went and fought and died in World War I thought it was going to be over in 6 months. And they thought, oh, we're going to fight this war like we fought all other wars, from horseback with a fucking saber and like guns. And we're going to, and they would literally dress up in armor and everything else until they met the first 50 caliber machine gun, which was the industrial age coming into the age of warfare. And there ain't no pendulum going back from World War I back to the way we used to fight, right? That's what I'm saying is like the technology, we are in a different place right now. And the first time we have a real war of some sort in this century, it's going to be just like the massacres that happened in World War I, because we still think that we're going to be able to go back to this sort of golden age. You ain't going back to no golden age. You can only go forward, and you better be smart about it too. Going,
Robot dogs.
robot dogs. Woof woof.
Well, it's funny because like the one thing that's what I'm getting on Ruslan, one thing he doesn't get is the interpretation of what he's reading. Okay, Rollo says like men and women love differently, right?
Yeah.
What does the Bible say? Talk about love between men and women. Men are supposed to love their wives. Wives are supposed to submit and respect their husbands. Why? Because men value respect more than they value love. Like you can love
emotion and reason.
Exactly. So it's like, why do you think it's in the Bible? It said the same thing that you're saying, but they're like, no.
Wait, they're picking up on universal themes.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but they're not getting the reality of it. It's like,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of other illustrations of like when you look at the emotional side of things versus the rational side, or the masculine versus the feminine. You can give lots and lots of different illustrations of that. I mean, there's certainly biblical ones too.
Yep.
But anyways, all right, guys, we're at time right now. Let's get this last one here. Howdy, just to pop in. Keep Cappy away from your dogs. History does not repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. Hail to our robot dog overlords. And with that, I will say, where can we find you and what are you doing?
You can find me at Glenn Lawrence Presents on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. I'm working on a little documentary thing I want to put up there.
I saw you gave me
we will be chatting
the
later
draft
about that.
for it.
Yeah.
Thor, what's going on with you, man?
All good, man. Just here making the visits, seeing everybody. You can catch
How long
me
are you here for in Vegas?
I'm here till Sunday morning.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to chat.
Yeah, check everybody's Instagram because I'm sure you guys will do feeds, except for this guy who doesn't have. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Well, you have. I know you have an Instagram.
We'll be doing Rule Zero tomorrow again.
Yes.
And then right after that, we'll be doing the Dragon Ship.
8:30 a.m. Pacific.
Yep.
11:30 a.m. Eastern.
RP Thor on Instagram.
Aaron,
you
what's
can
going
find
on
me
with
at assholeconsulting.com. That's become my flagship site. What's going on is, we didn't talk much about it, but I'm the finance guy of the Red Pill, I guess.
Yes, you are.
And I have two main flagship classes that if you're interested in getting your financial act together, which if you don't have it together, don't come. How do I get the girls living at home with my money? You don't. You just don't. Stop asking. So I have two flagship courses through Teachable.
It's a Justin Waller effect.
Yeah. I can do my Justin Waller impersonation later. Yeah, but I need knees coming up to here. But on Teachable, one class Achieving Minimalism Theory and Practice, and the other one is Achieving Financial Excellence, and those are both open for enrollment. So that's the latest thing I have going on.
Awesome. John.
I'm on this YouTube tour. Go to moneymusclesgameframe.com to get on the waiting list for my free book. I'm giving out How to Become a High Value Man, Maximize Your Life with Making Money, Making Muscles, Learning Game, Holding Frame. There's like 1,000+ people on there, so get on there. It's going to be good.
Yar. And don't forget, tomorrow, of course, is Rule Zero. I'll be doing my show probably on Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, but I'm going to see if I can't get like Icy or Mo in on that if they get into Vegas quick enough. If not, then I'm just going to go solo. I'll probably do it from the hotel or from the pool. I'll do it from poolside. How's that?
There you go.
But then we've got a whole bunch of other shit that's going on too. So we got Mo and Icy. Mo from Fresh and Fit. He's the sound guy from Fresh and Fit, and we got Icy, who is their girl getter. And they're coming in. They've never been to Vegas, so we need to take them to clubs.
Yes.
We need to also
Take them wherever they want.
We also need to treat them like visiting royalty.
Okay.
So we really
Sounds
need
good.
to do. I think that's. And then what are we doing? You said there's something on Tuesday we're supposed to do.
No, just like what we'll do is if you have them
get
on
them.
the show, we'll just simulcast. We'll
Okay,
do something like
perfect.
that. I have, if you ladies, I know a lot of ladies watch this. If you, I'm hosting the Maxim party in for Super Bowl on next Saturday, on the following or the Friday before that, the Shaq's party, and the day before that we're doing Babes and Ballers.
Is that
If
in
you guys
Vegas or in Los Angeles?
It's all in Scottsdale. It's for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
All you thoughts that are going out to Super Bowl, hit me up. I'll get you into every party during that weekend. The Maxim party, the Sports Illustrated party. All
Yeah,
this kind of
and
stuff.
by the way, we'll get you on the roster to be on the show too, because we're starting to get like people who like
Yeah.
like they're coming out of the woodwork. What is this bitch following?
Yeah, we're overbooked. Yeah, we're overbooking. The next episode we're probably doing the 16th of February for Access Vegas. We have a big roster of girls, but I'm trying to get new girls to come on and not the.
We
same
finally
ones.
gotten to the point where the girls are coming to us.
Yes. On the 18th of February, we're hosting Maxim Carnival in Los Angeles. If you guys want to go to that, and on the 19th of March, we're hosting Babes in Toyland, a pet edition where we're raising money for animal rescue in Los Angeles. If you guys are interested in that, if you want to find me, just go on Michael Sartain on Instagram or the Michael Sartain podcast on YouTube, or you can check me out at moamentoring.com. But do not do it at work because it is not safe when you go to my website.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. And again, Big Mo, Icy will be in the studio probably what do you say, Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday. There. So there's something to look forward to. Thanks for watching and peace.